That's what we do around here. I'm just gonna remove this. Okay. Hello, everybody. Do. Welcome to Moonday Tarot. Just making sure that we are live. There's a little bit of a delay on these, so I have hooked up Odyssey for the first time, so that's really exciting. We'll see if it is actually working or not. Ooh, there we go. Okay, cool. All right, I'm excited. Okay, sweet. So today I am bringing in Mario from Symbolic Studies to slang some cards with us. It's gonna be sweet. I thought this was an absolutely perfect way to wrap up Cancer season since Mario is a Cancer sun. So like, what a perfect way to just finish Cancer season. And since today is the 18th, and 18 is the Moon card in the Major Arcana, I thought that was also a nice little, nice tie-in for the last of the Cancer season Moonday tarots. So without any further ado, what's up, Mario?
Hey Kaylee, thanks for the invite. This is awesome.
Dude, I'm stoked. I'm honored, honestly, because when it comes to like symbolic literacy and amount of experience people have like studying the tarot, I think you're a fucking pro. So really the
Aw,
honor is
shucks.
mine.
Thank you. Well, to be completely honest, man, I mean, I really appreciate your insights as well. And usually when we watch this, it's Michelle and I, and we're like having dinner or something, and we're
Oh.
watching this thing, and it gives us just a really good opportunity to talk about a lot of different things and just hang. And this little community here is very, very mighty. That is the other thing that I've noticed time and time again. I'm like, okay, there's 15, 20, 25 people in the chat, but they're like all badasses,
Right.
Seriously,
Right,
it's
the
huge. It's really
quality
awesome.
is, yeah,
High quality
I think
people around these parts.
totally
Absolutely.
100%.
So
I would
yeah,
agree
I'm
with
I'm
that.
all about the giggle tarot.
Yes, yes. That's awesome. Yeah, I can see Michelle's in the chat. What's up, Michelle? I see Legs. I see Chance. I see Logan. Logan was here first, like a half an hour early. So, like, what's up, Logan?
Hey there, dude.
that's that's beautiful. Cool. Well, I'm really excited to start this. I'm just trying to see if Odyssey is actually working or not, and I might need to just refresh. So I'm just gonna like chill for a second. So this week is fucking fire. Literally. I mean, Leo season actually literally starts, but there's a couple
Right.
other things happening that'll be spicy. Let's just say spicy. Okay, cool. Oh, sweet. It's actually working. And there's a couple people over on Odyssey. Okay, that's really exciting. Yay. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. I'm excited. Can you tell?
That's awesome. I'm stoked. I'm glad
Okay.
it's working.
Right? Me too. Yes. Yes. All right. Hey, Martin. Hey, Regan. Alrighty. Oh my God. Let's get started. Let's talk about this astrology real quick. So let's see. Hey. Okay. All right. Oh my God. Yeah, let's just jump in. So a couple things are happening right away that are really nice. So let's fucking start there, okay? So first of all, we have Venus, who has just moved into Cancer. This is really sweet. If you were to relate this to tarot, you would, I mean, this is literally the first decan of Cancer. That's the Two of Cups. So, like, Venus in Cancer, while she was in Gemini, it's like stimulation, talk. In Cancer, it's a lot more about sweetness and comfort and bringing nice things into the home and, maybe eating some sweets, especially since the Cancer is associated with the stomach. So, I mean, be careful with overindulgence, but this can also like really enhance people's love for their country, since Cancer is all about the homeland and
Mm.
like your ancestry and your roots, right? So that's really interesting. There's obviously a huge spectrum there, right? Like you can be like insanely crazy patriotic, or you can just really be digging into your roots. And actually, because of that, I actually brought my runes today to read those with the
Nice.
yeah,
I
it's been a
love
while
that.
since I've yeah, it's been a really long time since I've actually read them publicly, so we'll see how that goes, but good times. Right, but this is a nicer transit. Venus will be squaring off with Jupiter which really can overemphasize that overindulgence side that Venus is known for. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be a little bit later in the week. The other really interesting, fun thing that's happening right off the bat here, it's actually tomorrow. Mercury is moving into Leo ahead of the sun, right? So Mercury's our speech. Mercury is like quite literally talking and thinking. Can also be vehicles. But as that moves into Leo, with the sun opposing Pluto, so that'll be extra spicy. It's all about speaking courageously, right? It's about courageous self-expression. That's Mercury in Leo. It will be kind of important to temper that a little bit until we fully enter Leo season, and then let it rip, right? Speak your mind, be honest, stand up for yourself. That is a big thing and theme that's probably going to come up in a lot of readings, is the need to stand up for yourself and hold your ground. And we'll talk about why in a couple of minutes. It might be really important, okay, while we're going through this week, and I'll show you why, to make sure that you temper your speed and your speech just a little bit. As the moon is moving through here, right? The moon is kind of like a trigger point, and it also has a lot to do with our feelings. So while we're like, our thinking has sped up a bit and is a little bit more fiery and a little bit more passionate, and we might really want to say certain things, how we feel and how other people feel about that is like at this tension point, this square here. So in Taurus too, so it's definitely about like reining it in a little bit. So just be cautious about that going through this week, especially as the sun is opposing Pluto. Friends, this is the boss battle. You have no idea how much time I've been looking at this and like, oh my god. I don't know how this is going to play out for you individually, because everybody's different and these signs are falling in different places in your charts. But this week and moving into Leo season, this is like the tension building phase before something goes like a little bit extra crazy. And we'll talk about that as well in a second. Okay. I'm just trying to set the stage here. Thursday, right? Thursday will be interesting. So here's the moon, all right? This is the important part of this week, is the moon coming through here. So moon will be conjuncting with Mars, then it'll be in between the two, and then hit Uranus and the North Node. Just so you guys are aware, or rather, I think that you probably would be aware. If I don't know if you've noticed all of the farmers in different countries around the world really rising up, whether that's manufactured or whether that's organic, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not here to judge that. But this is like a tinderbox right now. Okay. That is the whole sign of Taurus, is just a giant tinderbox. You have Mars, which is about like aggression and assertiveness on the positive side of things, right? Protection, fighting, action. That's Mars. And then you have this Uranus and the North Node coming together, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but they're both at 18 degrees. So the exact conjunctions next week, but they're right on top of each other. Uranus is a sudden and unpredictable energy. And Rahu, the North Node, that is also an unusual and hungry and all-consuming kind of energy. So we have this like explosive energy, this fire energy, and this unexpected hunger in the sign of Taurus. Like, I don't know how that's going to go, but this week is a very testy week. So just, use a little bit of extra caution and a little bit of extra like, woosah. Especially with this being in the sign of Taurus, just kind of one more thing to add on to that is that Taurus is a slower sign. With Mars here, Mars is quite frustrated in the sign of Taurus. It's like we really want to be going, but it's not that you can't, it's just that you have to maintain kind of a steady speed. Taurus wants you to slow it down a little bit, like literally. So keep that in mind. And while if things are getting frustrating, like you want to go in a certain direction and you want to be doing this thing, especially with this Rahu energy, be very cautious about immoral or cheating actions. Immoral actions or cheating, sorry. Why? That's a characteristic of Rahu. And the other big thing why is as soon as that conjunction is done, Moon squares with Saturn, the lord of karma, so to speak. So this square here that we're going to be hitting on Thursday night, Friday, is kind of like whatever happens on Thursday, Saturn is there to kind of like stop and rein us in. So again, good, bad, that depends on, you know, your own personal chart and what kind of is going on in your life. But I would say that it'd be really important to not cut corners or try to get around an obstacle in a less than good way. I don't know, grammar is escaping me right now, sorry. But yeah, so like this week it's not a very nice week. It's kind of touchy. But once the sun goes into Leo on Friday, okay, this is triggering a lot of that heart centered, courageous, I need to take care of my needs kind of energy, right? And with Saturn, like this is a big theme right now, the restrictions on our movement, the restrictions on our ability to get together and to connect, our ability to move. These are very Aquarian type of themes. So as we're heading into Leo season, this is like the second boss battle. Like we're facing off against Pluto. Now it's Saturn. All right. That's what this opposition is about. And Saturn is retrograde. So as we're going into Leo season, we're in the closest pass to Saturn that we're going to get all year. So it's more intense of an energy. And I can't see the chat right now, and I'll come back to that in a sec. Sorry, guys. I'm just really excited to get it all out. Okay. But yeah, so it'll be incredibly important coming into Leo season to, like I was saying before, stand up for yourself, to individuate, to not be afraid to do something or continue doing something, even though you might be running up and against like obstacles and restrictions or even groupthink that says that you shouldn't do those things, because that is the dark side of Aquarius. It's groupthink, communism, literally. So yeah, that's what's going on this week.
Nice. Right on.
Like,
that was great.
yay!
Thank you. Can I riff off of a couple of things with that?
100%.
Nice. I mean, you know, I'm not a chart guy, so I'm just like, my understanding of things is very different than yours. But you know, the transition from Cancer to Leo, I think, is always interesting too, because I've just read several times that you know, some groups place the demiurge energy as being like birthed during this transition, essentially, you know. And so when you look at traditional images of the demiurge, he has a lion head and a serpent body, you know. And so the lion and the serpent and dragon energy, I correlate all of that with Leo, right? And so just the fact that you're saying that things are going to get testy or whatever, I'm already thinking about some of this symbolism. And then as you say that, I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense. You know, he's the king of the archons, you know, if you want to say it that way, I guess. And then also, too, just the contrast, you know, between Cancer and Leo, Cancer being ruled by the moon and then Leo being ruled by the sun. And these are the only two signs that are ruled by the sun and the moon, you know. So I think
the
that's
king
kind
and the queen, so to speak, right?
Yeah, totally, for sure. And so I made a video and I basically put out there, I'm not the first person, but that, you know, even you said king and queen, but there's a lion and a unicorn on like the UK royal coat of arms. And I see the unicorn, I interpret it as Cancer personally, and then I see the lion, and naturally I think of Leo. And so you have that energy there, which there's just a lot of like tension built into just those symbols, I think, you know. And then the other
Totally.
thing you said that I really like is the homeland thing. I hadn't really considered that with Cancer, but that makes tons of sense, obviously, given everything
Right.
Cancer represents. And then it kind of reminds me of the Chariot card, and I've been kind of riffing off of the idea of, the Rider-Waite Chariot card. Basically, the Chariot literally is a cubic stone, so he can't even go anywhere. He's like fused in that cubic stone. He's not leaving. So there's a lot of motionless Chariot symbolism in a lot of older tarot decks, which I find fascinating. So it's like, well, yeah, you better like and appreciate your homeland because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, especially with Saturn in Aquarius. Bazinga. Fuck. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's great insights. I thought we could take just like a couple of moments to talk about the 8 and 11 switch. I know I didn't prepare you for that at all. Sorry,
Okay.
but I've been
Oh, no
been
worries.
thinking about it nonstop since Saturday. I'm like, fuck.
Right on.
I simultaneously love and hate when something that I think is like the way is like thrown out the window.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I
It's
know.
like a love-hate thing, right? Oh shit.
What's kind of hilarious about this is that I've literally read multiple passages about this switch and like what it represents and why and everything else. And I still don't have quite as good of a beat on it as a lot of other people. But long story short, okay, see the chat. Nice.
It's distracting, I know.
It is.
Sorry.
I don't even have it up. I'll read the comments that you put up here, but otherwise I would get
Okay.
totally lost.
All right, I'll try not to distract you.
Yeah. I mean, feel free. You know what I mean. But so long story short, if you have the Rider-Waite deck as an example, the Strength card is going to be number 8, and then the Justice card is going to be number 11. If you look at the Crowley deck as an example, Adjustment Justice is going to be number 8, and then Lust or Strength is going to be number 11. So there is this switcheroo that has happened over time. And there's actually more than one switch that I'm aware of too, with Hebrew letters and things like that. That affects the Emperor card and then the Star card. So the Hebrew letters that were associated with the Emperor and the Star card were switched at a certain point. And my understanding too is that Crowley is responsible for a couple of these switches. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of like exactly what the deal is, but I know that if you're a Kabbalistic student and you study the Tree of Life, that you will see these changes, being shown on the Tree of Life with the Sephiroth and the paths and everything else. So I'm trying to learn a little bit more about it every single time. Literally, it kind of goes through one ear and out the other because I just have a different relationship with this stuff, and so I think that there's a lot of technical things that you could probably get into. And I know people have written about it. I've seen videos on it, things like that. But I wouldn't be able to explain it as well as say like Benjamin Balderson. I think that he has a really good handle on what the deal is with that.
Yeah, I was under the impression that Crowley just swapped them and that that was just him that did that. I didn't know that there was an older deck that had them that way, right? And then Benjamin Balderson's coming all up in my business, been like, hey, the Marseille deck actually had it like that. And I had seen that comment before, but like there's certain things that I'm just like, no. But then I went and looked it up, and then I'm sitting there on Saturday right before going to bed. I'm like, this is my face. Like, shit. Oh no.
I just did a video about this, actually, of just this idea of like occult correspondences are not fixed. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so it's just one of these things where I would rather know, what several systems have to say about what planet or sign rules a card. As an example, in that video, I talked about the moon card and how like the common correspondence is Pisces for the moon. But I have a deck where it's Aquarius, and they literally show Aquarius at the bottom. And then I know this other guy, and he says that, it should be the moon itself rules the moon card, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? So yeah,
right?
there's a lot of different systems out there. Yep.
There's a sun card. There's a card for Venus. That would make sense. But yeah, it's really interesting. And yeah, chance 100%. That's the information that I was
Mm.
basically going on. I'm like, Syrian
Yeah.
would be right for sure, 100%. But yeah, I watched that moon card video and I thought it was really funny that, well, not funny. It's kind of crappy that people were giving you hell for talking about a different set of symbols for a card. Like, come on, like you don't think Mario has the fucking receipts to back that up? Come on. Come on, like
Well,
really?
you know,
Right?
to shed some light on that, they're TikTokers. And so
Yeah,
I
okay.
love my TikTok people and my community there. And I've met, honestly, lots of really, really chill, insightful people there. But I get the most grief and the most complaints and headaches probably from TikTok too, because people are so young. And so I have a lot of people that are like, you know, they're teenagers or whatever. And so they're just not as, you know, experienced with these sorts of things. So it's just really funny. The different apps or platforms, I've noticed that I get different kinds of feedback. And
Totally.
with TikTok, I get a lot more complaints.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
TikTok.
Yep.
You'll learn those kids.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, no, I liked that video because you were firm about like, hey, things actually change and shift over time, motherfuckers, but like without saying the motherfuckers part. Just I liked it, and
Yep.
it was funny to me also because it says literally on the deck that you show the Hermetic Tarot, Lord of Flux and Reflux. It's like, come on. It's labeled flux and reflux because that's the moon, so it's changeable, you know. Anyway,
Totally.
getting
Yeah,
way
exactly.
off track, but yeah,
It's all good.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Word. But anyway, so there's so many people in the chat. Hi guys.
Hello, chat.
What's up? Yeah. Gabe's here, Andrea's here, Martin's here.
Cool.
Right? Yep.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yes,
We really do. I mean,
like the
honestly,
background pick.
I say this like regularly, but our community is awesome. So just to say
That's
that,
pretty cool.
Yeah, lots of really rad people doing so many cool things.
No, Rel,
Mandela.
no. It could be though.
Yeah.
Right? Dude. Yes, it is. You are correct, Andrea. Flux is used in glassmaking and welding, by the way. So that's really interesting.
I have a quick Mandela Effect thing to share, if you don't mind, as it relates
to tarot.
No.
Sure.
We won't get too deep into it. But there was a moment where when I was looking into the Mandela Effect, and I don't even, honestly, I'm so neutral on it now. I don't really care. It's like, I don't know. But there was a moment where I'm like, is the tarot changing on me? And I was looking through the Crowley deck and there were little things that I've noticed. And I was just like, wait a second. This little detail kind of steps up the symbolism and makes it deeper than it would have been without this. And I don't recall this little symbol being there. So as an example, like on the moon card, there's two towers and there's little like gate opening things on the towers. And I'm like, I don't remember them being open. I remember them being closed. And there were, honestly, I wrote down like a dozen or so different little things where I was convinced for like a weekend that the Mandela Effect had changed my tarot decks. Yeah. 48 hours.
Fuck you, CERN.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways,
oh my gosh.
But we can move on.
That would have
we don't have to expand on that.
I would have been tripping up. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, Elsie King in the house.
What's up, dude?
Cool. That's how you know you're initiated when it's opened.
Well, that's what I thought. Dude, that's what I'm saying. There were so many little storylines that were developing
because
of
these
small changes. Yeah. So it was cool.
That is pretty cool. Oh man. Okay. All right, my friends. Let's get into it. Dude, I'm so happy that you're here to read with me. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
I miss Rachel though. But I mean
oh, she's great. Yeah, it's not.
Balderson Stoller. Gabe says, I want to see that list of Mario's tarot hidden Mandela effects. Oh,
nice. I will see if I can dig it up. It's been a while. But for sure.
What's up, Romy? Okay, let's get started. Leo season. This is gonna be nuts. Oh, also, by the way, you can tell me if you're not, but Mario said that he'd be okay doing sticking around and doing personal readings if you guys are into that. So instructions are below, and I'm just gonna put that up there too. Thumbs up, cool. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I said I need to get a reading from you. I gotta do that. It'll be private though.
That would be my
Okay.
recommendation.
Yeah, right. But like, this is gonna get too deep. It needs to be not on air, right? Yeah, I would always recommend a private reading, but these can be fun and sometimes eerily on point. That's weird. Like I can't believe like the King of Wands one for you. Like,
Oh yeah,
I kept thinking about it. Like I'm like King of Wands like all week.
that's still playing
Oh,
out
man.
too. There's things going on with it that maybe I'll share later or whatever. But yeah, no, the King of Wands, that was definitely a thing.
Sometimes this shit is too real, and I gotta like put it down for a while. I'm like, okay, that's enough astrology. Bye. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, I like to start with Pisces and go backwards. So that's what we're gonna do because chaos. No, it's just fun. I like to switch it up. Yeah. Okay, so Pisces. For you, Leo season is your 6th house. So this is the house of your health, right? Your daily habits, work life, your work life balance basically is what I would sum up 6th house in like one kind of like word or phrase or whatever. So because Saturn's been in your 12th and you will be feeling this Sun Saturn opposition and the whole fixed square cross bullshit going on, definitely make sure that you are paying very close attention to your physical health. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I wouldn't say anything more than that. I kind of want to talk about what Taurus is doing, but I feel like we've talked about Taurus so much, like ad nauseum, that I think you get the point. You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna not worry about that unless it comes up in the cards. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, card cam. Are you ready for the card cam?
I think the card cam is ready. Yes.
Okay, this is exciting. You guys check it out.
Boom.
Let's put it like this. Boom, card cam.
Yeah, that works out.
That's fancy.
It is.
That's fancy. I gotta get a card cam going. That's fucking sweet.
It's called
That's so fucking
a
sweet.
cell phone.
My camera's busted on my phone.
But it works. Oh, okay, I gotcha. But yeah, it's nice because if I held up a card,
guess what,
Nice.
Chance?
yeah,
You'll be fine. that's Andrea. That's so you have time for snacks. I mean, you know. All right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I love
Oh,
I
no
love the
worries.
card cam. So yeah, if you are ready, you can go. I'm still shuffling. So
Okay, right on. So I'm still debating if I should pull from a couple decks here, or if I should just pull from a tarot deck. So I have this deck called the Psi deck. I picked it up at a tarot symposium. Portland has a really cool tarot convention every year. It got thrown off because of COVID. Lots of vendors, lots of readers. I bought like all of my awesome, like badass imported decks came from there. And anyways, there's like lots of things I could say about this whole entire thing, but it's been very, very awesome and kind of influential actually. So I bought this psychology deck. There's like 40 cards in it, and I kind of just want to give that a go too. So maybe, what do you think? One tarot card and then one. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that would be hilarious. We should do Pokemon divination sometime. Psyduck.
at the same time, at this, you know,
Yeah, at
who
the
the
same
nerds
time.
are.
Oh, totally.
They have
totally.
a Pokemon tarot deck.
Oh, I believe it. I'm not surprised. It's
Yeah.
the biggest media franchise, I think, of all time ever. I don't think there's any other intellectual property that's bigger.
Bigger than Barbie? Bigger than Disney? Really?
I
Wow.
think literally any intellectual property, you know, I think that it's bigger than all of that. I don't know if it's bigger than Disney, because Disney, you know, has a bunch of different things underneath their umbrella, you know.
Right.
But yeah, they're
That's pretty
freaking
huge.
massive. Absolutely.
I
So what do you
believe it.
think? One tarot, one Psy card.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels good. That feels good. I'm trying to stick to one tarot and one rune and kind of like see what happens from there. 'Cause sometimes multiple cards come out and I don't really control that. It just fucking happens and I'm like,
Totally.
okay, I guess we're taking two then, you know. But yeah,
Okay,
I
so
feel like that'll be good. And we've already been talking for 30 fucking minutes, so
we have. That's
this
right.
is gonna be a long one, guys.
Totally,
Strap
totally.
in.
Is that cool? Should we be moving faster? Because there
No,
are, I mean, with these cards and stuff, there's so many tangents that we could go on. All right, so I'm just getting
yeah,
myself
right.
set
I
up here.
know. Okay, cool. So while you get set up, I will tell Pisces what they got. Rachel, just in time, buddy. Good job. Also, hey Jared. Okay, so for my tarot for Pisces, I got the Three of Wands, and I brought out the Druid tarot for this read. I figured I'd go with a lighter, homier deck, especially with Venus and Cancer. I was like, yeah, that one. So Three of Wands, right? Pisces, this is great, okay? You have been making plans. Okay. You've been setting them into motion. Now you got to watch things grow. But you got to make sure that you keep going down the road that you've started going down. Don't allow yourself to deviate. Because it looks like you've got some stuff started. That's really beautiful. So, keep going. Keep going, my friends. The rune I got, we're coming out with the big guns, right? Right out the door. We got Hagalaz. And it did come
Ooh.
up upright. So Hagalaz is interesting. Okay, this is number 9. This is about, well, it's the hailstorm, right? It's an elemental storm. The main message I feel behind Hagalaz is that even in the moments of the worst destruction and chaos and whatever the fuck could possibly come your way, there's always opportunity. It's just that you have to make sure that you are aligned to find that opportunity. So keep going no matter what, because you've already got things set into motion. Trust that that momentum will carry you forward. And if there are some storm clouds on the horizon, because that won't be true for everybody, but if there are, you know what to do, right? You know how to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally to face and weather those storms. You fucking got this. So have some courage. Leo season, baby. Have some courage. You got this.
Nice.
Rachel eats storms for breakfast, by the way, just so you know.
I believe it. Okay, so my first card for Pisces is Temperance. It's the art card. And so that's really, really interesting. So you can see number 4, 14, excuse me. So this is the Golden Art Nouveau, by the way. It's like an updated Rider-Waite clone, but the artwork is like beautiful and there's gold foil on it. This is all aesthetic stuff, but so what I would say for all you Pisces people out there, it's like, I've been thinking of the tarot in terms of a lot of questions, actually. And so I'm developing a list right now. Michelle and I spent some time on it recently where we're like putting together this master list of questions as they correspond to certain cards. Because I'm starting to think that the tarot is like a book of questions, actually, more so than a book of answers. And so I would ask, like, what is your higher self wanting you to acknowledge, wanting you to create? And so, in certain decks, this is literally called art. And so you are creating, you are manifesting. I think that this very much symbolically could be your holy guardian angel, which I feel as though really is just an aspect of self. So that would be my question, is just like, what are you creating? And then where is this inspiration sort of coming from? And are you listening to your higher self? And then regarding the Psi deck, so this is actually number 1. So there's 40 cards total. So this is the first of all 40. The Inquirer, so it's kind of funny that I just brought up questions, right? So what are you looking into? What are you curious about? What's driving you right now? Is there anything that you would like to know more about, in the immediate future, moving forward, things of that sort? How's your relationship with self? I think of number one, and I think of the self, and I see this little pattern here, and I kind of see a maze too, and so you're going to get drawn into the maze, and you're going to want to see, what's at the center. And here you could see there's even a little bit of sacred center symbolism kind of going on. And so are you developing your relationship with self? So the inquiry, I think, is within.
I fucking love that.
Nice. Right on.
Of course, there's secret center stuff.
Yeah. Totally.
There
has to
be. There has to be. Exactly. That's really cool. I was watching the viewer count while you were talking about temperance, and it was 14 for a little bit there. I was like, oh.
Ooh, nice. Right on.
Sweet. Heck yeah. Cool beans. Okay. Ooh, I got banners. Yes. Aquarius. I really love that, by the way. A book of questions. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm starting just to see all of these questions just pop out at me during readings and everything else. And as we're developing these lists of questions, I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. I wonder if this was like part of the initial thing behind it, Just a thought.
Maybe. Totally. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius. So Leo is your 7th house, Aquarius. That's the house of partnerships, right? One-on-one partnerships. With the 7th house, we're talking about like committed partnerships. We're talking about business partnerships. And anytime you sign a contract, right? That's the 7th house. Any one-on-one private relationship. That's the 7th house. And Aquarius, of course, you had Saturn in your 1st house for a little while. And all of this crazy activity going on in the 4th house. So what I would really say to you about Leo season really is that when it comes to confronting people, because the 7th house can be open enemies, when it comes to confronting people, when it comes to dealing with stuff going on behind closed doors, make sure that you're standing up for yourself. That's probably going to ultimately end up being like my message for literally everybody is make sure that you're standing up for yourself, right? This Leo energy is it. I mean, it is. It's really important. And I mean, make sure also that like if people are wanting to break away from what you're trying to do, it's okay, right? Allow them to do that, because it's important to let people find their own way sometimes. I guess that's really that's what I would say for that. I hope that makes sense. Makes sense in my brain.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, good. If it doesn't make sense now, let me know on Friday, because that's when Leo season starts, so you'll see it play out. Okay. Aquarius. You gotta do a little sing song. Also, Mario, there's one rule.
Oh, do I have to dance?
You gotta laugh. You know how to dance.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I mean, you could if you want. I mean,
The rule is I have to laugh at all of your jokes.
No, you don't have to laugh at all my jokes.
Joking.
Yes, exactly. Yes, there's a big difference between setting quote unquote boundaries that are actually just trying to control other people and setting boundaries where you're like, this is behavior that I won't put up with, and then removing yourself from the situation. So that's part of the nuance there for sure. 100%. So I was trying not to use those words. Like, don't be controlling, but like not say that. Okay.
By the way, I am using dice to pull the cards. So that is kind of, so what I'm doing is I get each stack, dividing it into 3 sections, 1 dice roll per stack. The highest roll is what I pull from on the top. So just a heads up, that's what I do for my readings, and I've been doing it for a while. When I first started doing readings not too long ago for people, I did not do that because I felt like for some reason it was weird or whatever. And then quickly I switched it up and I'm like, oh yeah, this feels right. So that's what I'm doing right now.
I love that.
Yeah. In case anyone
It's
was
like
curious.
and like an extra added thing of chance and randomness, and that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly right. For sure.
Chance, more giggling or we're out of here. Rachel. Listen, you guys. Okay. So what I got for Aquarius is the King of Pentacles. Enredo. Number 5. Okay, so King of Pentacles. I like this guy. All right. He's chilling. He's got his boar on the fire. You know, he's real comfy. He's one of the male figures with bare feet, which is a really important part of the symbolism and art in this particular card. But yeah, King of Pentacles for you, Aquarius. Like, when it comes to relationships, all right, this is a confident, secure individual. And that security aspect is really what I see possibly being triggered, or insecurity rather. So just make sure that, like, you know, you have a plan for what you're doing. That's very Pentacles. Know what you're trying to build, and just rest assured that Saturn won't be in your sign for very much longer. Okay. This year he's finishing up and moving on. So face those fears head on. And when it comes to Rado, I like rolling that R. I don't know if it's supposed to be rolled, but when it comes to that particular card, this is about, I mean, it can be going on a journey, but it can also be walking the walk, right? Not just talking the talk, but actually doing the actions that you say you're going to do. And to me, this particular rune also brings in this aspect of when things are happening according to natural law, which is really, to me, I'm starting to discover is just sacred geometry and the patterns of nature. When things are happening according to that particular thing, they stay moving forward. Things continue to progress. If stuff becomes really unbalanced, and the pattern breaks in some way, usually because of our own, you know, it's usually us that breaks that pattern. It will right itself. It'll right itself. It'll fix itself. So this to me is you sitting pretty, right? So I actually like how that star is placed right above his head. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
That's neat.
I think we're totally gonna get that deck at some point too.
I love it. It's a good deck.
For sure. Okay, awesome. The tarot card that I got for Aquarius is 10 of Wands. And it's, there you go. And so kind of in line with what I was talking about earlier, it's, you know, what is the question here? That's just where my mode of thinking is right now. And it's just like, can you lighten your load? You know, and if you lighten your load, I was actually talking to Michelle about this last night, but you don't just get rid of everything, you know. So there's a gradual sort of thing with that. So even if there's one thing, as an example, that you're directing your focus towards, is there one thing that maybe no longer requires your energy or can wait until another point in time? You know, the other question is, are you burnt out? And so this guy is basically being burdened, you know, by all of these different things symbolically that are going on in his life. And so the weight is heavy on his shoulders. So that's something that I would think about and address is, you know, what is your current workload like? And is there anything you can do to even make it more efficient, I would say. And I know you've talked about kind of like automation and just making things like a little easier on yourself. You know, there's a lot to be said about all of that. And as you've said it, I've really tried to integrate that and think about how I can do that for myself. And it just makes sense. There's so many tools out there to make things easier on us. Maybe there's something out there that can make things easier on you. So there is that. And then the Psi deck is number 6, which is the body. and we pulled a pentacle card. And so, just pay attention to your body, and what's going on with it. Are you treating it well? Are you eating well? Are you getting exercise? Are you getting fresh air? It makes such a huge difference. I mean, one of the things I've been recommending to people, literally, some people ask me now during these readings, like, what can I do to get centered, to get grounded, to heal inner traumas, do shadow work and whatever. And one of the first things I say, it just makes the most sense, is like, address your body and what's going on with your body first. It's so huge, and just allowing everything else to flow and just come into balance. So that's what I got.
150%, dude. 150,000 billion percent.
Nice. Right on. That's a lot
Trauma
of percents
healing.
right there.
That is a lot of percent. That's how serious I am about it. But yeah, man, no, you're totally right. Just from personal experience, I can tell you, like, you heal trauma through the body. That's how it's done. So that's great advice. 100%. Totally. And yeah, automating things. Yeah. I like, there's no need to reinvent the friggin' wheel. You know what I mean? Like, there's no need to bang your head against the wall trying to do something that has already been, improved upon by somebody else. So
yeah,
you can make it even better than that if you want, and that'd be
work smarter, not harder.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh, heard. Yeah, I say that a lot. Word.
Nice.
Yeah, and Jim Maiden in the chat. What's up, Jim?
What's up, dude?
Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Benjamin Franklin. Okay, sorry. Okay. Capricorn. So Leo's your 8th house. You can just see how excited I am for this. Actually, it's not going to be bad. I'm overreacting a little bit. Okay. 8th house, right? Sun moving into the 8th house. This is bringing to light if there are any skeletons in the closet that you need to deal with. It's going to come up during Leo season. The 8th and 2nd axis has a lot to do with your financial abundance. The 2nd house, where Saturn is about how you feel about your money, your values, and does say a little bit about the kinds of things that you like to collect and keep around you. Whereas the 8th house is like your shared resources. Death and taxes, that's the 8th house. Joy. What an interesting 8th house of, like, because you think of Leo, right? And it's like art and joy and pleasure and like theatrics, and then it's like, but that's the house of like death and taxes. So like, do we like make light of it, or like, I don't know, as I'm doing right now, I don't know. But yeah, so when it comes to paying back taxes, if you have to do that, or paying back debts of any kind, really, just make sure that you're staying on top of that and not ignoring things, especially like budgeting and shit like that. Like, don't ignore that stuff, because it's going to play a very important part in how you move forward with your Taurus house. Okay, so that's
I have
what
a question
for the astrology. Yeah, sure, shoot.
Regarding taxes, is there like a natural law, non-governmental correspondence for that? Can you think of anything? Not to put you on the spot, but just wondering.
I'm down with that.
Because I'm wondering. Okay. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
There might be some people in our community who don't pay taxes.
Dude, I've been having very serious moral issues around this particular topic. It's just I'm Canadian, right? So just a few months ago, the prime minister said that I was unacceptable and should not be tolerated in society. So I'm like, oh, maybe you don't get my money then. But yeah, I mean, I actually need to consult an astrologer about this, because I'm like, okay, will I get boot fucked if I don't pay my taxes this year? I don't know. But I mean, like, because the 8th house is shared resources, if there was any kind of like Any kind of like structure that you borrowed money from and needed to pay back, or if there was any kind of like co-op kind of thing you were doing where you were paying into that and it was like a community based thing, that could fall under 8th house potentially. So yeah, that's a great question.
Gotcha.
That's a great
Okay.
question. That's a
Something
great
to chew
fucking
on.
question. It's
Right on,
definitely
right on.
something to it's definitely something to think about. Yeah. I'm like yeah. Cause yeah. Yeah. just yeah. What, you've never heard of that chance? Boot fuck? Yeah. Well, yeah. Remember I live in socialist Canada, okay? Okay.
That's right.
But yeah, 100% Andrea stocks. I mean, yeah, long term, right? Not short term. If you're to oh, hey, what's up, buddy? What's up, Sam? Yeah. So stocks. Okay, so if it's like options trading where it's more of a gamble, that'd be more like 5th house. Like crypto was if you're trading like short-term altcoin stuff, that's more like 5th house because it's more of a game and a gamble. But if it's like a long-term investment type thing, that's like 8th house. And yeah, good times. Yeah, I would actually. We got a question for you, buddy. Yeah. Okay. Capricorn. If you're ready, by the way, you can go.
I am ready. Yeah, totally. Let's
cool. Okay. I'll bring you up while I shuffle.
Okay, so 5
fucking
of this.
second 8th house. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Go
So, oh yeah, no, it's all good. So this is called worry in certain decks. And I would just say, don't worry so much. Things are going to be cool. And also, what are you worried about? That would be the question. And probably more importantly, if you're in a dire situation, my first thing is, what role did you play to get there? Because when I see this card, as much as I want to feel compassionate for these people, which I do, obviously, I'm not a monster, but it's like, what role did they play to get into this position? Are they fulfilling some sort of victim mindset kind of thing? Because really, we get in our own way, obviously, and so that's kind of the key, is just to acknowledge if you're getting in your own way or not, and to get out of your own way so you can thrive and prosper and everything else. So that is that. Very, very interesting. Capricorn, I mean, obviously it's like snowing and everything else. That's very, very, yeah, I think that's on point. I think that makes sense. Okay, so the Psi card is the Fool, which, funny enough, for some reason here it's number 32. I wonder if there's a good reason for that. So obviously, new journeys. There's a raw energy here that's not refined. Clearly, it's related to the path of the Fool, and embarking on that new thing. So the closure of a cycle, the beginning of a new one, and there's all of this possibility here. Traditionally, the Fool card relates to air symbolism. And so I think it's interesting that he has a little flute there that he's playing. So that kind of lines up symbolically. But yeah, are you ready, for the next chapter? And what does that look like?
Andrea.
There you go. Who knows? I don't know.
I love that. So that's really cool. I love that. So
Cool.
I had 2 cards come out. I swear to God, I didn't do this because it's my son. Okay, I promise. I got 2 cards that came out. All right, we'll take that off. I got the Hermit, who actually came out sideways. I'm not gonna lie. That one came out sideways, so that's interesting. So Hermit, Virgo Correspondence.
Yep.
And if we were to ask a question about the Hermit, I would ask, how connected to your body are you? Right? Especially since that has already come up. And that ties in nicely with the 5 of Pentacles too, because if you are constantly ruminating, right, you're in your head, you're not in your body. And the Hermit card coming out could indicate that maybe it's really important to tap back into that, maybe take a little bit of a a step back in order to reassess. And because the Hermit, really, there's a layer that needs to be shed. So, right, he's about to go down the mountain. Not quite yet, but he's about to go down the mountain. So, very very appropriate for a fucking 8th house transit. Then the other tarot card that I got was the 6 of Wands, right? So on the other side of this journey down and in, there is victory, right? That's the 6 of Wands. So, and I mean, talk about Leo energy. This particular deck doesn't have any of the correspondences on the cards, but how I learned it was this is Jupiter in Leo. So it's very courageous, like say it with your chest kind of energy. Yeah, I love
Expansive.
it. Right? 100%. Yeah. So there's that. And then the rune that I got was Tivas. So this is the one that actually talks about North Star symbolism to me, like quite literally.
Okay, I'm paying attention now.
It's number 17.
Okay.
It's Tyr's rune. And yeah, it's definitely like, where is your true north? That's what I think of when I pull Tivas. It's about hard work and dedication. It's about not being afraid to take some kind of like sacrifices in order to really make it. Yeah, that's Tivas to me. The how this ties back into the Hermit real quick is that it's also important not to get lost in like an analysis paralysis. So that's the big thing. So again, just connect back to your body. How are you grounded right now?
Totally. I just have to say with the 5 of Pentacles, he has like 2 crutches, and then the Hermit has his staff, and so I just think about this thing having to do with support and how you can support yourself, but if you're not physically well. Oh yeah, did you make those?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. Those are great.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm gonna make some wood ones next. But yeah, sorry,
Sweet,
keep going.
Sweet. Oh yeah. Oh no, I was just gonna say regarding the staff, and this idea of support and supporting yourself versus needing support, and how in the tarot, sometimes you do need support in life, and so the support can come a bunch of different ways. I think it's interesting that the word staff is also the same word that we use for like employees of a business, because they're the support of the business, the staff of a business. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so
Wow.
the symbolism of the 5 of Pentacles with those guys, the couple outside of the church, and it's snowing or ashy out or whatever, he's unable to support himself, and so I think that clearly he would like to be in a position to be able to do so.
Word.
Nice.
Word. Absolutely, my friend. I love it. Oh my god, the chat is hilarious.
I bet. I can't do it. I would be so distracted.
Okay.
You're doing great.
So
I mean, you're juggling like multiple things. You're doing card cams and readings and runes, and you're pulling cards, and you're doing the astrology. Yeah.
I'm going to give the credit to my Venus in Gemini.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Andrea said maybe it's not snow, it's ash, right? And then someone called her grim, and then she said, I'm not grim, I'm chaotic neutral. All the D&D nerds. You guys are nerds, and I love it. Oh, man. Ooh, okay. All right. Oh, shit. Okay. Where are we at? Sagittarius. Da, da, da. So Sag, Leo is your 9th whole sign house. Okay. This 9th and 3rd axis, the Sun versus Saturn thing going down, right? The 9th house, the area where you need to stand up for yourself, has to do with publications. It has to do with higher education, and that doesn't necessarily mean like secondary education. It can be any kind of higher education, right? Philosophy is a big thing associated with the 9th house. So, it's okay, buddy. I got you. So the thing with the third house, where the Saturn's coming in, the third house is communications, it's siblings, it's trips within your neighborhood. So, oh, nice. There's a Sag rising. Okay, this is the part where I have to like ignore the chat for a bit. So this third ninth opposition with the sun moving into Leo, this is where you need to be relying a lot on your intuition. And if there is a particular path that you want to go down for education, for becoming educated, or if you want to take a longer journey, say to a foreign land, that's ninth house as well, traveling. And there's something that's like weighing you down and pulling you back, that's in your neighborhood or one of your siblings, or something along those lines. Or there's even like, it could even be like self-limiting beliefs, since we already touched on that with Capricorn. This is where you need to stand up for yourself and be like, nope, this is actually the path that I want to go down, and this is actually what I'm doing for myself, and this is actually what I believe, and I don't really give a fuck about what you're saying right now, because I mean, you're Sagittarius, okay? Sagittarius is about the truth, the higher meaning in life overall. This is really a time for you to shine, Sag. So, I mean, don't burn it all ground. Don't burn it all down, right? But please don't burn bridges. But otherwise, let loose, man. Let loose. So, word.
Nice.
Thanks, buddy.
Love it.
Right.
You are.
Word. Thanks, good. Thank you, guys. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were Sag rising. That's fun. Word. But yeah, okay. Let's do this. What cards you got? Are you ready already? Oh shit, you're ready already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am getting the hang of things over here. So
yes,
we have the Seven of Wands. So the question that I ask is, how are you handling pressure? And I would just pay attention to how you deal with pressure, over the next month or so. And so that's what I think of. And, I think it's interesting that we see one person and then there are no other figures, but you just see the wands, once again, going back to this idea that I think he's actually fighting himself. I don't think he's fighting external people. And so I see all of these cards as being like an internal thing that way. So just pay attention to how you handle pressure. And then regarding the Psi card, I got the Cave, which is number 39. And, there's a heavy subconscious sort of thing going on here, going within, doing shadow work. And so I would say that, inner explorations and kind of deeper understandings of the self could be appropriate right now.
Nice. I love that.
So that's what I got. Yeah, it's an interesting card. I have not spent that much time with these at all. So it's kind of cool. It's like I'm seeing them in a way kind of for the first time.
Cool. I love the art on that. I'm just going to take myself out for a second so we can look at it a little.
Yeah, for sure. So you can see
that didn't really make it any bigger.
No, it's all good. People can see it.
Word.
But yeah, it's optimistic.
Yeah.
There's light shining through the cave.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Cool.
Just letting the rune fall out. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So. Right. Boom. Okay. All right. Sagittarius. I have a feeling you're not going to be surprised by this card in the fucking slightest. We got the 5 of Swords. I feel like this needs some heavy metal or something. Sorry.
I'm down.
Right? I know. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I actually wore my Fintroll.
Dude, Fintroll. I used to love those guys. Hell yeah. I used to have them on vinyl and everything. Folk metal was like such a thing for me. I've gone through all of the genres of metal, folk metal, power metal, all the cheesiest stuff. But Fintroll, actually, they're great though. They're awesome.
I love folk metal so much. Okay, anyway.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Nice.
Word. Chance just giving me tips. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so 5 of Swords. Sagittarius. You already know what's up, okay? Yeah, I already know that for some of you anyway, this is already playing out. The Five of Swords can be a confrontational energy. It doesn't have to be, but in this particular card, this shows you as the quote unquote victor. And I don't think that it's because you need to like cut anybody down with your sword of truth, right? I don't think that you need to do that. I think that this is just about being the bigger man or woman, man, woman, whatever, being the bigger man and not stooping down to somebody else's level. So that I feel like is an important message for the Five of Swords. And the rune that I got, which really, I feel like this rounds it out really nicely, is again, we got Tivaz again. So making sure that your actions are balanced, because Tyr is the measurer aspect, God, the measurer counter. This is making sure that you're not getting lost in analysis paralysis, but making clear and decisive decisions. But really making sure that your actions are balanced and making sure that, again, it's about making sure that you are aligned with your true north. What is your purpose? So maybe that'll be a really good thing to keep reminding yourself about this week. Take a little bit of extra time to chill out the mind a little bit so that when it does come time for, words to be exchanged and actions that need to be taken for whatever it is that you're going through right now, that you're already centered, you're already calm and cool, and instead of reacting, that you respond. So that's what I would say about that, my friends.
Nice. Good stuff.
Word. Okay, I'm gonna test this. Are you already ready?
I guess I
is
am,
that
yeah.
Is that for Scorpio?
It is.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so I'm already ahead, I guess.
I love it. I love it. That's the best. Oh man. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. All right. So Scorpio. I've got heavy giant slayer karma, 6'5" with a Napoleon complex. What? Gabe, what are you talking? He drops the most random shit into these chats sometimes. I swear to God.
I love it though.
Next thing you know, we're going to be talking about cheese again. I'm like, what? Holy shit, you guys crack me the fuck up. Okay, Scorpio. Woo! All right. So this is the 10th house transit, Leo season. Okay, Scorpio. I'm probably going to say this until the nodes change signs. You've got a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm not going to lie. South node going through your house. I think I said this last week, but that can be intense, right? There's lots of things about your own personality and identity that you're needing to let go of. Not everything, right? You don't want to let go of everything. And it's kind of funny because I'm just now remembering something that you just said about an earlier poll where when you're changing things and getting rid of things, you don't get rid of everything all at once. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, Leo season, right? This is the 10th house transit. So as the sun is moving into your 10th house, this opposition is happening in between the public and the private. The 10th house is the public. The 4th house is the private. So that's where Saturn is in literally your home. So keep in mind that wherever Saturn is transiting, okay, you are being asked or being called to build a stronger foundation there. In the 4th house, this is literally your root, your foundation, your home. So while the sun is in Leo and it's like, yeah, shine on, right? Right. Stand up for yourself and make sure that your public presence and your career goals are like, you're still like reaching for that, right? Continue to do that. But remember, with Saturn down in the 4th house, this is really important that you're not expanding too far, too fast, because Saturn, it's not that you blame things on Saturn. Like, don't blame Saturn. It's not Saturn. Okay, it's you. It's you.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Saturn's grounding you down into reality right now. So on the one hand, this is about balancing those polarities of the public and the private, and what needs to stay private versus what can be public, and what what is going on at home that needs to be addressed in order for you to be able to reach up to your MC or your 10th house or whatever, which is what we're talking about Leo, not necessarily the MC, but that's what I would say about that.
Nice.
Isn't it Saturn? It's you. Yeah, it's not Saturn, it's you.
That's perfect, dude. That is a bumper sticker or a t-shirt or something, honestly.
You can't just blame Set, okay? I won't let you. As a Capricorn rising, I'm putting my foot down. Okay. Woo.
Hell yeah. Nice. Okay. My question for this card is, are you leading by example? And so I think, obviously this is like fire of fire. And so he is the king. He's the most experienced of the court cards. Are you leading by example? Leading by example goes a long way, in terms of helping people and others and helping yourself, and creating just like situations that are beneficial for you and just the people that you surround yourself with, is leading by example and actually like doing the thing in honor and in truth and with integrity and things of that sort. So that's what I think of right now when I see this card. I think it's really interesting that this is, yeah, I bet he does. That's funny.
No.
Yeah, no. Bad. Yeah. So it's interesting that this is fire, and he is a king, and he has this big old wand and everything else. And it's kind of just contrasted nicely with this mother card right here, which is super interesting. Yeah, for a lot of different reasons. Scorpio, right? And Leo too. Go for
and
it.
that fourth 10th axis is what we were talking about with the Leos or the Leo Aquarius Sun Saturn opposition. Mother, father, that's the 4th 10th house. Sorry, anyway, keep going.
Nice, dude. No, that's awesome for sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm into it. And so with mother, this brings up a few interesting questions. It's funny, I always think of the demiurge, and that is just something that is just like sometimes perpetually on my mind. But the idea is that, the demiurge came from Sophia. He thought he was the supreme deity, but he didn't realize that there was a god above God, and that the god above God was actually the goddess. It was his mother, And so I think there's this ego check kind of coming in here, with the King of Wands and this Leo energy. And Leo and the demiurge very much relate to the ego. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have an ego or that it doesn't have a place or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But I kind of just get this ego check sort of thing of like acknowledging your place in the world, acknowledging, if you are kind of letting that go unchecked. And one thing that I feel called to say is that one of the things I've been saying, and the way I think about things symbolically, is that it is a man's world. I think that's true. I think symbolically it is a man's world, but it's a woman's universe. I think that's the dynamic that's kind of going on here. And so that's why I think a lot of the sun gets a lot of attention here. The sun, because it's radiant, it shines, we wake up to it, we go to bed when it goes away, etc. But that's not the only game in town, obviously. And so I think that there's always, I think the matriarchy encapsulates the patriarchy, I guess you can say. And this almost kind of represents that in a way too, just like she's cradling her children and everything. So yeah, ego check. I guess that's what I have to say about that. And how's mom? Call mom.
I love that. Call your mom.
Call your mother. Honor her, respect her. You came from somewhere.
Word. I love it.
So a few random thoughts there. Yoniverse. Yep. There you go. Nice.
I know. I'm not. Yeah. Those eclipses are gonna hit me hard. Joy. Okay. All right. This is not about me. Okay. And she laughs. Libra. Did I do Scorpio's card?
No,
I didn't do Scorpio's card.
Yeah.
I didn't do Scorpio's card.
It's all good.
I got excited. I got all anxious. Okay. Scorpio. I actually pulled a Scorpio card. It's kind of interesting. I pulled the Six of Cups. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, yeah. So, Six of Cups. This can deal with nostalgia. This can deal with memories from your childhood. And really, like, if it's, oh, that was accidental. Yeah, Rune just fell out. Okay, so Six of Cups. This ties in really perfectly with that 4th, 10th axis, right? It's okay to skip Scorpio. No, it is not. Bad chance.
That's awesome.
Oh, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do next time? I'm gonna do all water, all air, all earth, and then fire. just because fuck you. Just kidding. Oh my god. All right, so Scorpio, Six of Cups. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this can be nostalgia, remembering things from either your childhood or even like sometimes this kind of card and this kind of energy can be tapping into things coming up from past lives. Even depends on if you believe in that or not. I don't know. I think I do. I do. I've definitely been here before. I've definitely done some of this shit before. But just don't get lost in that, right? It's important that we strike a balance between wherever your nodes are and wherever the nodes are transiting. So because there's all of this crazy energy going on in Taurus right now, and you're being pulled in that direction, Rahu, the North Node, is very hungry and obsessive and all-consuming energy. So as much as the draw is to just go into that fully and just be totally all consumed in relationships and thinking about partnerships and stuff like that, it's really, really important to make sure that you're balancing both of them and paying attention to what's going on with you as well and what are your needs, and are you still maintaining things that you need to do for yourself, you know what I mean? So this can be a really sweet and beautiful energy, and maybe, just maybe, I mean, I'll definitely put it out there that there's definitely a possibility of something like passionate and explosive opening up for you with all of this Taurus energy. It's 100% possible. Just make sure that you are in an emotionally healthy place as well, right?
Nice.
And the rune that I got Perth. But it actually came out upside down. So murky. This is an interesting rune. We don't know a lot about it. It can represent mystery. It can represent fellowship. They say that it's a good lot to pull, right? It's like good luck. I like to look at it as all of those things. I take a yes and approach. It's like, it's all of those things. It's mystery, it's joy, it's fellowship, it's blah, 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 blah. And it's taking a higher perspective. Because it came out upside down, and one of the ways that you can look at it, as I drop it a million times, is it's very similar to a chalice as well.
Absolutely.
So, right? So with all of that said, that brings me back to making sure that you're in an emotionally stable place yourself before trying to expand and outreach too much. So that's what I would say for you, Scorpio.
Nice. Can I ask a quick question about Scorpio?
Yeah.
Do you think that do you consider any sign to be the deepest sign in astrology? If so, would it be Scorpio? That's my question.
Would it be Scorpio because it's fixed water? Or, but so this is how I would think about and break that down, right? So fixed water to me can be like a well or a swamp or a pool. So it's deep, right? But is it as deep as the ocean and the abyss of Pisces? Or is it as deep as Mariana's Trench? I don't know. I think that that feels like a trap. I don't want to answer that. It's a trap.
It's literally something I've read like at least more than once, like twice at least, in just different material, you know, saying that like Scorpio is the deepest
Scorpio's the
sign,
deepest.
and it was like pretty much like stated. It wasn't like a question or like a suggestion or whatever. And then I also think about Scorpio being part of, my understanding, right, is that Scorpio, Libra, Virgo were all part of one giant constellation forever ago, and that they all got split up. And so I can't remember which sign was the original sign, but there might be something to Scorpio actually being the original sign. And then it got broken up into 3 smaller signs, sort of thing. So anyways, I just thought I would ask because I'm curious and we were talking about it. And whenever it comes up, it's one of these things where I'm just like, wow, it does feel like a very, very deep well, though, of information. I think more than some of the other signs, but they all have their own thing going on, obviously.
Totally. That's a deep question.
But
yeah, Sam in the chat pointed out that it has volcano and water and fire elements too, right? The traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars, right? So there's that to consider. And fixed water can be a puddle, 100%. That's hilarious. That cracked me up. But yeah, that's a really good question. And I mean, I would, when considering those sources that say it's the deepest sign, I would, I'm curious if they're coming from the modern astrology standpoint of Aries is the first sign and Scorpio is the 8th sign, which is a much more modern take on it. Like it used to be that you wouldn't associate any particular sign with the first because it depends on your individual horoscope, right? So like, for example, the Scorpio now is associated with the 8th house, right? And the 8th house has that death and taxes kind of association with it. And Scorpio can be the occult, which is very deep. So I'm kind of thinking out loud here, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm into it.
Stream of consciousness, wee. But yeah, so like Scorpio does have the depth and the transformation aspects to it. So there is that. And it's associated with so many different animals because of the ways that you can transform with that scorpionic energy. So there's that side of it. I think it's relationship. Pisces is the abyss. Oh, so true. I don't know.
No, you're right. I also think of its relationship with the genitals as well. And just like
totally right. And
everything that
sexual
comes with that
energy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, knee-jerk reaction, I want to say yes, 100%. Scorpio is the deepest, but then you get into stereotypes that aren't necessarily true. Yeah, so I don't know. I gotcha. A lot of my like ideas about astrology have been rapidly shifting as I've been studying it more. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, I don't know. Says
nice.
Pisces.
You don't have to commit to anything. Right. That's cool. And there's no right answer, obviously.
Like flex and reflux.
right. Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I want to say like knee-jerk reaction, yes, it is the deepest, but then like, I don't know. I can think of arguments for and against that. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the input. Thank you.
Word. And like, I just kind of want to riff on that just a little bit. Like, when I first started learning the associations of the houses and the signs, I was learning like the first house is Aries, and that did help learn some of the symbolism. But now, as I'm like really looking at way more charts and I'm trying to take like what is the first house and assign it with different signs and stuff and the other houses, some of the nuance is kind of grating on me a little bit because I've lost the nuance, and taking those apart is like, oh, it's very frustrating. So I wish that I hadn't learned that association to begin with. Because now it's like I got to unlearn all of that in order to like do this quote unquote properly, or more accurately, I guess I could say, because it's not that it's improper, it's just it's less accurate. So yay.
And that stuff is hard to unlearn. Your first, like, I still think of like certain little, the little books that come with tarot decks.
Totally.
and it has the very simple entry or whatever. It's like some of those are so burned into my mind because it was the first thing I ever read about that card, and then over the years too, I've just gotten a way more information about it and whatever. But yeah, it's kind of just like with this reflex sort of thing to default to how you learned it the first time.
Right? Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Right? Yeah. Good times.
Cool. Libra.
Yay! Libra. We're doing good, by the way. We're doing good. Okay. Libra. Da, 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 da. So Leo is your 11th house. So this is a fucking perfect example of what I mean by having difficulty separating the house from the sign. Is 11th house for Libra is Leo. It is not Aquarius. And Aquarius is considered according to modern astrologers, the 11th sign. So anyway, so separating out what is Aquarius and what is the 11th house, that's one that like really trips me up. But anyway, so Leo, 11th house, right? So this 11th, 5th axis for you, Libra. Saturn transiting through your 5th house. 5th house is like fun and joy and pleasure. And Saturn is making damn sure that you're taking care of your responsibilities before you go and have fun. Oh, thanks, Saturn. But here's the thing. The 11th house is like your wider social network. It's also your long-term goals and hopes and dreams. So yes, there are responsibilities and yes, there are things that you need to take care of, but make sure that you are still aligning yourself with your longer term hopes and dreams and wishes. Because if you don't take action on them, they're not going to fucking happen. Okay. So keep that in mind. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now. That's good. I'm happy with that.
Nice. Yeah. Facts, dude.
Facts. Oh, you ready? All right.
Boom. I am ready. Yeah.
I fucking love that. Yo!
I know. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Hell yeah. When I see this card now, I think of the inner child. And so is your inner child wanting to express itself? Does it want to come out for some reason? Is there something that needs to be healed from the past, And so think of your inner child, and address those thoughts accordingly, act accordingly, etc. And for the Psi card, there's actually a repeat of a card that I already pulled, and it is the Cave. So pretty much similarly to what I was saying earlier about the Cave, I think this is deep inner work, pay attention to your dreams, it's stuff that's underneath the surface. We brought up the Hermit, and I think that some Hermit symbolism definitely applies here as well, taking off those layers, and notice that the person within the cave is nude as well, right? And they're in the fetal position, and even the Hermit card, a lot of hermits have like this hump right on their back, and it's almost like they're slowly morphing into the fetal position a little bit. And symbolically it has to do with a return to self, which actually very nicely, it's interesting, this dynamic, the contrast between the sun, the radiant sun, and then you see the sun shining through the opening of the cave. And then I'm talking about the inner child, and these are like, your childhood, your early experiences, clearly, they have a major impact on your development and your experience. And, I also think too, I've just been saying, it's like, you really should honor your story, honor it instead of denounce it, put it up on a pedestal, even, your traumas and even all of the negative shit. I think that that's one way forward, is to actually just acknowledge like what has happened in your life. And instead of sweeping it under the rug, instead of pretending like it didn't happen, actually just like embrace it, basically embrace your story. So that's what I got.
I love that. And yeah, dude, 5th house is like children. So that's where Saturn is transiting for Libra. So Saturn can bring fears and anxiety and like that kind of thing to the house of children. And this can talk about your inner child too, 100%, because your relationship with your inner child
absolutely
has a big role to play with how you parent, right? So
for sure. Wow. Excellent points. Nice.
I love that. So Libra, I got the same card as, how was that? Sagittarius, I think. Let's just take that off. I tried to make it tried to make it bigger. I didn't like. I'll
No
get this.
worries.
I'll get the hang of this eventually.
You're an excellent producer. You're
Thank
wearing many
you.
hats right now too.
It's all good. I learned from Chance, man.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
100%. 100%, Sam. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. By the time Saturn,
Sweet.
by the time Saturn is done with a house, you will have learned mastery there, hopefully. So, sorry. Sorry, Libra. I believe in you, Libra. I believe. Okay, so I got the Five of Swords again. So
Wow.
this is interesting. And I looked at the bottom of the deck because I was like, oh, what else? Okay. And we got the Fool at the bottom. Okay. So with the Five of Swords, so I'm actually seeing this as the reverse of how I saw it with Sagittarius. It feels like you actually are probably the one that's walking away this time. But I don't feel like this is in defeat. I feel like this is just for a new leg of your journey, right? So take whatever stuff is coming up, whatever words that are being exchanged that are less than kind, and turn that into fuel for your next journey or the continuation on your journey, the next leg of this particular journey, right? The Fool requires faith. It requires some trust, right? In a higher power. I'm curious, maybe Michelle might know. Do you recognize this herb that he's got?
Interesting.
It's kind of hard to see, but Michelle may know.
Are those the helicopter seeds? I can't tell.
No, I think those are leaves.
Okay.
Anyway, I feel like that'd be important. Looks like mistletoe. It kind of feels like it could be mistletoe. It might say in the book, and it's not next to me, so I can't tell. Damn it. But anyway, just the fact that I'm picking that out really suggests to me, Libra, that it might be very helpful for you to work with some kind of like calming teas, right? If there is anything that you've got on hand that you are already familiar with, like chamomile is a fucking perfect, excellent, beautiful example of something that's simple that everybody usually has. Work with some of those, you know what I mean? The rune that I pulled was Ingvaz. So this is the diamond shape number 22. This is the seed. It can also be a new moon. So there's the concept of, there's the idea of when things go into the sun, it's like they're dying and then they're reborn, right? So there's a couple of symbolic crossovers here. There's the new moon where the moon is literally reborn, and then there's like all of these stories about gods that go into the underworld, right? And this is signaling that there is some kind of thing that wants to be born anew through you, right? There's the Fool right there. Some new phase, some whatever, but there are endings that have to occur first, right? So that's the order of operations. The end is the beginning, but first the end must occur, right? The other thing with Ingvaz is that it's asking you to have patience. As things are gestating, it takes time for things to come to fruition, right? So be patient. I believe in you. Just, have a little bit of patience with yourself and with the people around you, because, yeah, there's something going down this week for sure. Word.
Nice. Very cool. I like that you switched to who you were in that card, the perspective. It makes sense.
Really
I've done that too, specifically with that card, actually.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I don't always do that, but it's just that's how that felt in that moment. So, that's the really cool thing about tarot. Like, depending on like who you learn from, or what we were just talking about this actually, depending on like how you started learning, like there's certain systems where there's strict rules, but then there's always different symbolism that pops out in the card that's like, hey, pay attention to me, hey, pay attention to me. Different levels of initiation, I guess. You could say.
Yes, for sure.
But and that's the fun part for me is like, yeah, there's hardcore rules and there's intuition, so it becomes both a left and a right brain kind of thing. So anyway.
Oh, absolutely. No, I think that's the approach. And I would just say with a 5 card too, I feel like 5
Yes.
cards are like, they're kind of ambiguous. They're right in the middle, between this base 10 sequence or whatever you want to say. And so I almost think of like the middle child, and like the middle child always has lots of issues. At least that was the case in my family. And so she is like, was caught in the middle. She wasn't the youngest, she wasn't the oldest. So she almost is just like in no man's land. And I feel like the 5s are kind of like this no man's land sort of thing, numerologically, between 1 and 10.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, just a thought.
5s. Totally. And 5s to me harken some kind of change.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just on a basic level.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot to check Odyssey. Is anybody chatting over there? No. Okay, cool. Cool. Sweet. Okay. I'm like, oh yeah. There's another stream going, don't forget. Oh, good times. Okay.
Good.
Virgo. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Virgo, this is a 12th house transit. Leo is your 12th house. Oh boy. Okay, so with Saturn in your 6th house and the sun moving into your 12th house, this brings an emphasis into your sleep patterns, your dreams. And it's funny because they've been talking about mugwort this like entire time in the chat. Like literally they're just talking about mugwort like in the last like couple minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? But
welcome to my life.
Yeah, right. I know.
Dude, we talk about mugwort all the time. But it's awesome though, because it's freaking great and it works. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
No
I love
surprise
it.
there.
Right. So because we talk about dreams a lot here, I want to talk about a couple of the other things that the 12th house can signify. Okay. So yes, dreams is a big one. But really it's like isolated places. So anytime where you are actually like in isolation, that can be a 12th house thing. So some like really common associations are like going on like retreats, like to like really far away place where you don't speak the language. That's a 12th house thing. Incarceration. Sorry to bring it up, but that's a 12th house thing. This is real life, okay? This is it's Giggle Tarot, but it's real life, right? Not saying that that's going to happen, but just to get you thinking about what the 12th house can indicate, right? So meditation trips where it's not necessarily for pleasure, but going to really far distant lands where you don't speak the language and you're a little bit isolated. Being put into an institution, that can be 12th house too. Healing is 12th house as well. And then spirituality, right? So like I like to touch on the exoteric and the esoteric, because something that I've started to notice is that certain big transits, especially ones that hit really sensitive parts in my personal chart, end up playing out in a few like multiple layers and levels. It's like they'll play out literally where I'm like, wow, that was really fucking literal. And then they'll play out more symbolically and then on like an emotional level. So it usually ends up being like 3 different ways that I see it. Not always, but sometimes. So it's important to kind of give multiple meanings for this because it usually shows up in multiple ways. So anyway, the 6/12 axis, right, with the sun and the 12th house, this is about this is making sure that you are not spending so much time at work with the 6th house, and not worrying too much about the physical health. So how do I explain this? It's like, again, trying to strike a balance between spending so much time like healing or working on like shadow work type of things that you get stuck in the mud. It's also about making sure that you are connecting to a spiritual source, a higher power, if you will. And the potential like issues arising with the Saturn Sun opposition could be something along the lines of, maybe some like major like, gosh, it's so hard. I don't even want to say this out loud because I don't want to cause any Virgos to be worrying too much. So that's just what I'm going to stick it to. Like, if you are worrying a lot about your health or your work or some debts or something like that, I would say that this transit is ideal for surrendering some of that and separating a little bit from it so that you're not worrying so much, right? That's where the 12th house kind of thing can come in really handy. Like spend a little bit more time in meditation, take some of those beautiful techniques that you have as a Virgo. And a question for you would be, well, not you, Mario, sorry, but a question for Virgo would be, do you have like a sacred space somewhere? Right. So this is really important for the Virgo archetype, really, is having some kind of sacred space where they are safe and are not disturbed, that they can connect with nature and ground. Right. Virgo has a lot to do with ceremony. And I've said this probably in the last few streams, really, is like Virgo has a lot to do with ceremony and sacred geometry and patterns and stuff. So if you don't have a sacred space, create a sacred space, because that is going to be an important thing for you, is to make sure that you're not worrying so much and just concentrating on what you can control, and taking care of that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Get a massage, soak in the tub, create a sacred space, and have a sacred practice. So
that is awesome. That totally parallels what I pulled for Virgo. Just chill,
chill, Virgo. You workaholics. Oh, that's funny. Okay, what do you got, buddy?
Well, as you were talking about, just everything, I was just like, wow. I mean, I feel like the Empress here kind of embodies some of that. So, she has this sacred space. There you go. Nice. And so she's outdoors, just like you're saying. She's grounding, just like what you were saying. And she is just like vibing with nature. You know what I mean? And so I think that what you're saying as relates to this card is like, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself. And it's really funny that you were saying all of that. And as you were saying it, I was looking at this card. I'm like, that all lines up and it fits. And we also pulled the Mother card once again from the side deck. And so it's just like the Virgo symbolism, obviously, the Virgin, the Maiden, the Mother, is just fascinating to me in general. And then as it relates to these cards, there's just a lot to say about that. But it's like, we have this triplicity of Virgo sort of symbolism going on here. So once again, the Mother, she takes care of her children, so it's almost like this motherly quality, but towards yourself. Take care of yourself, be kind to yourself, essentially.
100%. Yes. All about that self-nurturing.
That's fascinating. Very, very interesting. I like it.
That's good stuff. I love it. I'd say we're tapped in.
Nice.
Tapped in. Okay, so I got two cards that pertain to overthinking.
What do you know? Yeah.
Fucking classic. Okay, Virgo. So we got the Two of Swords. All right. Two of Swords. Do. You'll notice the figure is blindfolded. Okay. She's not facing us, but she's blindfolded. This to me is talking about overthinking. You can weigh the pros and the cons of a situation until the cows come home. Sometimes you have to go with your intuition rather than trying to just make the right, correct decision. Sometimes sitting on the fence and not choosing which way to go actually puts you in more danger to be fucked with. And it also will keep you in this analysis paralysis mode where you're just not moving, right? So, honestly, with all of the fixed squares going on, especially once we move into Leo season, this is probably going to be an issue for a lot of people. Just make sure that you're still moving forward with something. The other card that came out was the Prince of Swords. Okay, so the Prince of Swords, this is you making a decision finally and just going with it. But again, just make sure that you're not getting stuck in your head like I did while trying to delineate this particular transit for you. Okay, I feel like that's your energy right now. just blame Virgo. Sorry, Virgo.
Actually, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Right. Sorry, Virgo. Sorry, Virgo. I actually really love you guys. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so like don't get stuck in your head, all right? And what's really beautiful about this card, right? The Prince of Swords. He is extremely fast to jump into the fray. And how I feel like that's you is you need to be fast to make a decision. Be honest, be forthright. Don't hold, especially once the sun moves into Leo, don't hold back on what you need to say. Sometimes the Two of Swords can also be like just choosing not to say anything so as not to make anybody mad. But if you're trying to keep everybody happy, you're actually going to make everybody mad. Okay, that's a Libra thing, but this is how I learned this is a Libra card anyway. So anyway. Sorry, the chat. So the rune that I pulled for you is Gebo. This is the 7th rune, and this represents a gift, an exchange of some kind, whether it's a gift of energy or a physical gift. There's 2 lines crossing, but there's actually 3 things in there. There's the 1, there's the 2, and there's the 3rd structure of the 2 together. Nice. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of cool. I like this rune. So Gebo can sometimes indicate that there is a synchronistic exchange occurring with somebody. Sometimes it's, just spirit, right? Like synchronicities off the friggin' chart. Like it has been for most of the people in this community for like fucking a year, like a solid year. Sometimes it's another person that, maybe they're not necessarily going to be on your path forever, but they have something for you. There's a message for you from spirit through them. So if you're sitting on the fence and you're not making a decision and you're not moving forward and you're overthinking something, you're never going to get that message. You have to be dedicated and just make a decision. Even if it's the wrong decision, is that the end of the world? You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. You can always change your mind later. But yeah, that's what I got to say.
I just have to throw in that Gebo reminds me of the crossed swords of the 2 of Swords as well.
Totally.
So there's that.
Right. Totally.
Yep. And usually
100%.
in other decks, they're like, it's a more like accurate cross or whatever. But very cool. Nice.
Totally. Right. So that's funny. Yeah, someone just dropped Belphegor's Prime in the chat. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Is Gabe still here?
I was just gonna say it has to be Gabe, right?
No, it was B Hoff. B Hoff.
Oh, Benjamin. I'm assuming that's Benjamin. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just dropping Belphegor's Prime in here. Oh my god. Since Gabe brought that to our attention, I have been seeing 216 in a lot of places, and I'm like, would you fuck right off? Like, no, that's not the rabbit hole I'm going down right now. Go away.
Dude, that's really funny. I know.
Oh god. Okay. Leo. I wonder if Chance is still here. He's probably just lurking. Okay, so Leo, it's your time to shine, Leo. Oh, it's Pi upside down. Belphegor's Prime, Pi upside down. Well, fucking, what do you know? See, it's everywhere. Okay, so anyway, Leo.
It is.
It's your time to shine, Leo. Are you ready? Are you ready for the fucking boss battle, dudes? I believe in you. Okay. So first of all, sun moving into your first house. This is like just great for feeling more energetic, period. Right. So wonderful. Also, yes, happy early birthday to Leos.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Right. Oh, yeah. So the question actually that I would ask is, are you being authentic to yourself? There he is. That's what I thought you were here somewhere, Chance. Anyway, are you being authentic to yourself? Like I was saying about the Aquarius energy, right? With Saturn in your 7th house, there can be a lot of pressure from outside, from other people to conform, to think a certain way, to do certain things. And I don't even just mean on like a societal level, because that's obvious. We've been facing that for 2 fucking years. We already know that that's going on. But something that I discovered personally is you leave one consensus reality and you find yourself in another, and then another,
Totally. Oh,
and then
yeah.
another, and then another, and then another. It's like, whoa, it never ends. But
It's true.
it's fucking crazy. I'm like, no. I'm never joining a group ever again. Here we are in a pretty
know.
badass community.
We are.
But right, so what I would say for you, Leo, with the sun finally moving into your first house and being like finally feeling like, oh, the king is home. Like, you know, that's kind of the feeling that I get about that. It's just, yeah, right, exactly, 100%. That's 100%. Yeah. Now it's like it's time to shine. It's time to express yourself. And if you do find yourself falling into groups where there's a lot of groupthink, make sure that you are being like, no, this is actually who I am, and this is my path, and nobody can tell me what to do or what to think. All right, that's really. I just described Leo for you. There you go.
Nice.
Word.
Well, once again, I feel like I'm understanding how this all works. So
fucking Saturn in the 7th right there, bud.
yeah. No, dude, for sure. And so this was, again, like you're talking and I'm just like, whoa, okay, all this stuff is totally clicking now. And so I feel like I've like gotten into a rhythm with all this stuff. It only took until Virgo and Leo, but whatever. And so the question that I have with this card is your head and your heart, are they in alignment? You know, and so that's the symbolism that I pick up now from these swords, you know, being within this heart is like your head and heart. Are they working together? Are they cooperating with each other? You're talking about groupthink. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can go against your better judgment because your heart wants to belong to the group, right? Obviously. So it's like I'm inclined to think that we filter most everything through our emotional body first, and then it hits everything else afterwards, you know? So we can do a lot of silly things because our hearts get in the way. We can also do a lot of like brilliant, beautiful, amazing things because of that very reason. And our head is what suppresses us moving forward with something that's related to our passions or our emotions or whatever. But the idea is, are they clicking? Are they in sync with each other? You know, is there any conflict with that? Because if you have a conflict between your head and your heart too, like that can lead, what they say in GNM, you know, it's like to actual like conflicts within your body. You know, they can be expressed physically and whatever. So you just want to make sure that, you know, what you're thinking and what you're doing and how you're feeling, that they're in sync with each other, they're speaking to each other, and that you're not having any inner issues and conflicts relating to, you know, what you're thinking and how you're feeling. So also, I think this is interesting too. So this is destruction. And as you were talking about groupthink too, it's like there's a lot of groupthink in this card. It seems like, you know, at least how they're portraying it, you know. So are they even fighting these battles for the right reasons? You know, I think that's a question that you could ask. How many wars, you know, have been fought, and it's all just a massive groupthink, mind control sort of deal, right? So that's the thing with groupthink too. I think I'm really glad you brought this up because it's just bringing to mind all sorts of different things. But a lot of times when you join a group as a blank, you know, if you say like as a progressive, as a whatever, you know, you're kind of signing up to also believe in the common enemy of that group. You don't even know it, but that is part of the deal of what you're doing. You're kind of signing up and you're saying like, you know what, as a blank person, you may not say it, but I also hate these people because they go against our group consensus. You know what I mean? And so you're talking about this boss battle too, And I just feel like this is kind of like this boss battle energy. And then because of Leo, once again, I'm thinking of the Demiurge, and the Demiurge loves this shit. As far as advice, he
It's
does.
just a loose fest.
It is totally 100%. It's like, yeah, where are you directing your energy? Are you leaking any energy? Are you using your energy appropriately? Do you have your targets set? Are you focused in that regard? Is what I would say. And also, I guess as far as advice with this card, it's like everything happens for a reason too, so I think of the Tower card, and some people see the Tower card and they're like, oh my god, it's the tower and it's falling, and there's lightning and everything else. It's like, well, destruction is the first part of any creative process. It's like things need to come down so they can be built. So actually, as messed up as this looks, there is some optimism here. Something else will be built on top of it. And if you're going to create any kind of art, you need raw materials. If you're going to build a house, you need raw materials. It's just kind of the name of the game here. So anyways, there's this other side to destruction that isn't necessarily bad or evil or what have you, but in the moment it can look very chaotic and not good.
I love that.
Awesome. Nice.
Chance. You're not going to become Chance guy?
Yeah, right.
Also, shout out to the Bears. You know what? Shout out to you guys. That was a great stream, and I loved that. I loved how many people came over to Chance's chat from that. That was
for
really
sure.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I have yet to listen to it. I caught like the tail end, the last 5 minutes, but the last 5 minutes I was vibing with it. I was like, this is good. I know I'm gonna like the rest. So congrats, Chance. That's awesome, dude. He brings so many people with him. Interesting guy.
Word. That's cool. I love that you pulled destruction. That's really awesome. Yeah, dissolve et coagula. Okay,
that's right. For sure.
The first most important step on the spiritual journey is disillusionment, right? It's like, oh, disillusionment again, fun.
You were talking earlier about having to unlearn things too. And it's just like that's part of the deal. It's like, okay, I had built a foundation, but it needs to come down in order for new foundations to be built.
Exactly. And that's so fucking Saturn. I hear Saturn Saturn. Also, I was smiling at the end there because and Andrea sent something for a reading, and it says asterisk, not for taxes.
Nice. I love it.
Fuck taxes. Oh man, that's so funny. But yeah, no, for real. Everything that I'm making, by the way, right now is going towards studies and books. So like,
sweet.
That's what it's for, my friends. Just so you know.
Hell yeah.
Not for taxes. That just made me laugh so much. Oh shit, that's good. Oh, that's funny. All right. So Leo. Yeah, I got the Hermit again. So again, this theme of it's like you're about to shed a really important layer, and there's this disillusionment stage that's coming up, and it's how connected to your body are you, and how much time do you take for yourself to be in sacred space, right? My god, Chance, you guys are distracting. Okay, anyway, so right. Another thing that's kind of really cool about the Hermit card, right, is he's got his old buddy right there, right? He's got his old buddy. He's got his staff. He's got his own spiritual light. You have the tools that it takes to make it through whatever this is that's coming up this week, right? You have a staff, which to me symbolizes wisdom and inspiration and connection to the divine. You have your own torch, your own inner light. And that's very Leo in general, right? Like the treasure chest, right? But I mean, you've honed this to the point where whatever comes up, there's no need to be afraid of it, right? And then with the dog there, actually he kind of looks like a wolf or a coyote, but whatever. With the dog there, that symbolizes to me loyalty and using your instincts. So you have companions and people around you, but maybe this week it will be more important to worry a little bit less about being admired. Sorry, Leo. And worry a little bit more about honing some aspect of your own personal inward journey. And just because like we already pulled the Hermit, I looked underneath to see what was underneath, like what's on the other side of this Hermit's journey inwards and downwards, and we got your card, the King of Wands. So
Nice.
you'll be stepping right. Okay, actually, that's really fucking cool. Okay, so here's the Hermit with the staff, right? And then he's got to go through this underworld journey, and then at the end of it, he's renewed and young again, and he's still got his staff. so there's definitely a layer that needs to be shed. And yeah, fuck yeah.
Very interesting.
The root.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you about Virgo real quick. I mean, but
yeah,
you maybe do the rune, and then I'll ask you a couple questions, if you don't mind.
Virgo's been fun to work with lately. Okay, but yeah. So the rune that I pulled, this is Eva's. Not Ava's, Eva's. So this is number 13. It symbolizes the vertical axis, right? So this can be the world tree. It could be the central column. It could be your literal physical central column, right? It symbolizes some kind of vertical growth. To me, this is talking about how there is magical in the mundane, right? You don't have to be doing some like crazy fucking spell and shit for things to be magical. Washing your dishes can be a magical act, a mindful act, a meditative act, right? Chop wood, carry water. The 13, this symbolizes that there is, well, you have to go down before you can go up. And it's kind of funny because just last week, Chance is like, no, you can top hop. And I'm like, bro, sometimes you need to go down. And this is a really gentle reminder that you can go up and down at the same time. And sometimes you need to. Yeah. In addition to that, this rune is a rune of protection. So just one last little thing to add on there. It's a rune of protection. So I would say that on your underworld journey, you are protected. So
yeah, I get as above, so below vibes. And whenever I see a staff too, just like planted in the ground. There you go. Yep, I can see that.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, the staff, it's like when it's planted firmly in the ground, it's like that is an as above, so below relationship. You're acknowledging the earth that it touches, and you're also acknowledging the heavens that it shoots up to, right? And so Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is like the psychopomp, traveler between realms. Also, Virgo, right, ruling the Hermit card. And then this is for Leo. Virgo is right next to Leo. Top hopping is real. So
we'll talk later this week.
I see the relationship with Leo and Virgo is just being really interesting as well. All of the relationships between all of the signs, right next to each other, and then the polarities of each other too, are really fascinating and kind of intriguing just to like decode and break down. And so I'm just thinking about Virgo because of the Hermit card, its relationship with Leo. And you said earlier that Virgo relates to sacred geometry.
Yes.
So what's up with that? Can you just expand on that just a little bit? Because I don't know if I've heard somebody say that, but immediately there's a few things that are coming to mind that I'm like, oh, well, that does make sense, actually.
Right? It's really exciting. Okay, so this is all right. So there's a particular school of astrology called shamanic astrology. And what they have tried to do with the archetypes is strip back some of our the patriarchy, basically, versions of these, the Hellenistic versions of these, and the modern astrology's versions of these, and try to find the root essence of that particular archetype. And with Virgo, what we see with Virgo being ruled by Mercury, and with Mercury being like math and counting and patterns and pattern recognition, and Virgo being very fixated on making sure that things are perfect. It's not necessarily that like they're like anal or 100% left brained. It's about uniting both sides, right? The left and right. So with the sacred geometry, it's like this is a meditative practice doing all of these sacred geometry things, and it's about ceremony. And what I've started to see as I've been like working with this particular part of the archetype with Virgo and talking to people, especially people with heavy Virgo, I'm like, hey, do you have a place where you can be a little bit more like this, where you have a secret space, where you can have things in that sacred space be perfectly aligned to how you feel they should be aligned, right? And what I have started to find is that if they don't already have that, then they're like, that's a fucking great idea, and they do it. And then it's been a really helpful suggestion. But yeah, like with Mercury, because Virgo is a quote unquote feminine sign, it's earth, right? It's very practical and grounded. But it's like the feminine polarity for Mercury, with Mercury ruling Gemini as well, which is the masculine polarity, right?
Yeah.
So what is the feminine side of the left brain kind of thing do? Well, I mean, with Gemini, it's like information gathering and like, you know, the more analytical of like the specific words and like speech and kind of that kind of stuff. With Virgo, there's a more of an emphasis on the body and on the like more practical, grounded side of things. So you take those two, kind of put them together. It's like, well, there you go, sacred geometry, boom. It's about finding the patterns.
Bada bing, bada
It's about finding, boom, boom. There you go. It's about finding the patterns, and when things break from that pattern, that's when Virgo is like, I have to fix it. So,
okay. Yeah. That's really interesting. Real quick, just to riff off of that, if you don't mind, are we good on time? Like, how are we doing with everything?
We're 2 hours in, but whatever.
Yeah, should we speed it up? Because I can hold it for another time or whatever.
I've done 3 hours before. Let's do it. We got this.
Okay, cool. So, real quick.
Oh my God, Chance. You just talk about top hopping.
Gotcha. That's hilarious. Okay.
He's like, no, let's just play. Sorry. Okay, let's sacred space. Virgo. Let's go.
Dude, it's the womb. The womb is the sacred space. The womb is the original sacred space. And when you look at the M of Virgo, you have the yoni that is part of that M, right? It looks like a little fish. That little space there is the womb. It's the Vesica Pisces, exactly. Elsie King has done a lot of work. I don't know if he's still around, but about the Vesica Pisces being like, you know, and circles and the flower of life, you know, generating all of these different patterns and shapes and everything that have a lot to do with sacred geometry. And then the other thing I'm going to say is that I made a video last Virgo about apparently like a lot of cathedrals in France were laid out to basically create the shape of the Virgo constellation across France. And this includes Notre Dame. Yes, because it all has to do with like Virgo and the Black Madonna and the Virgin Mary and that whole symbolism. So that's how highly revered Virgo is. So as you're saying all this stuff, sacred geometry, I'm like, oh shit, well, that kind of lines up with all this other stuff. So I had to ask.
Dude, we got to do a weave on that. That sounds badass. Oh, that's
exciting. I'll send you the videos that I did. It's really, really interesting for sure.
That is really interesting. I love that. Okay, cool. I want to read the chat real quick because they're they're talking about going down to going. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So Andrea says, oh, okay. So like, why you got to go down? Because think about how magnets have poles. Oh yeah. Well, you know what? If you think about plants, okay, when a seed germinates and it sends up its little like first two leaves, right? The next thing it does is it grows its root. And then there's a ton of underground growth before the plant gets any bigger, right? You have to go down in order to go up. If you have a weak root, what happens to a tree with a weak root? It's blown the fuck over. So
snap.
Anyway.
Well, Balderson was getting
Anyway.
into root stuff the other night. I don't know if you remember that, but we can talk about that
Yeah,
another
yeah,
time.
yeah, we can totally. Oh my god. Someone's bringing in crypto into the chat. Okay. Anyway, yeah, dude. So, yeah, 100%. So his issue that I've heard him say that he has with the Kabbalah is that it's a tree with no root. And it's kind of interesting to think about it that way. Yeah, we can.
It looks that way. It looks top heavy. And then there's the Klipothic tree of life, which is what I mentioned. And like, that's the tree of death. And so that would be the symbolic roots. But yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole. But I think the root thing is fascinating, is worth talking about for sure. But here's Cancer.
Right?
I'm a Cancer, so I'm excited.
Yay. We made it to Cancer.
Woo! At long
guys.
last. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Vibrant on Wednesday. Lucas, Mario, Gabe, and Chance.
Nice.
Almost said
Cool.
Ed me. Not me. Yeah, Wednesday gonna be lots of horse talk. Interesting. Okay.
I'm ready.
Really cool.
I'm totally ready.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Cool. Okay, cool. That's cool. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Cancer. I don't remember. Cancer. Yay. Wow. Okay. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Are you just doing the crap thing?
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So Leo is your second whole sign house. So, all right. So, okay. So sun into the second house. Second house is your like finances, how you feel about money, also what you put into your mouth, right? The physical needs that you have to take care of your physical body. That is what you can describe the second house as. So with you, but also with Cancer, there's this interesting opposition taking place in the second and the eighth house axis, where Saturn for you is in the eighth house and the sun is moving into the second house. So it might feel like there are a lot of restrictions from or coming through from like the shared projects that you might have with other people. Obstacles, things coming up, especially if it has to do with groups of people, like communities and different things. And I swear to God, I'm not cheating. This is literally Aquarius 8th house
stuff. Are
you
reading my mind? Seriously.
No. No, I'm not. But yeah, so like with Saturn there in the 8th house, this is about like stepping into more of a role of like I don't know, just taking on a little bit more responsibility and mastering the whole shared resources and 8th house themes. With the second house being lit up by the sun, some questions that might come up will be like, okay, this is what we want to do like together, but are you still taking care of your own needs, right? Are you still taking care of your basic survival needs as well? And there may even come a point where it's like, okay, no, I must put up boundaries here so that I can take care of these particular needs, because Saturn is really boundaries. So that's the second 8th house axis for Cancer.
Nice. Very interesting. There's a lot of shared resource things kind of going on with us right now that have like really come to a head. And so it's not going to end anytime soon, but but you know, our reaction and our response to the situation is like what you can do. So it's like it's not about what you can't do, it's about what you can do, you know. And what you can do is be strong in your perspective, you know, and be strong in you know, how you see a situation and how you feel about it and everything else. And so when I see the Magician, obviously that wand that he's pointing up there, and again, he's doing the as above so below thing as well, right? But it's kind of like a you got this sort of thing. Can't believe I came as nice.
Oh, sorry.
Hello and welcome.
They made it live. Hello, welcome. Right?
Yeah, that's great. And so I think the number one pretty much, here I go. There you go. The number one pretty much consolidates all of this energy, as in you. you. And so, your power, your sovereignty, kind of like your authority, your magic, your magical abilities, you are the pole, and you're made up of that polarity, the spectrum of the positive and the negative, the masculine and the feminine, the physical and the spiritual. It's just like that's you. So you can attract and repel things, based on your actions, your thoughts, etc. Right. And so I think that kind of what you're speaking to is like, having that backbone. That pole is that backbone. That is the spine. That is the world tree. That is the axis mundi. So that's what I got in terms of the tarot card, and then kind of interesting the fact that this is what's called the stranger. So number 30. And you were just talking about this shared resources stuff. And here we have somebody whom, you're not familiar with, really. You might think you are. That's kind of the funny thing, actually, about friendships and just working with people and having shared resources and whatever. At some point, you're going to figure out who they really are, and they're going to figure out who you actually are. The more time you spend with other people, you might think you know who they are. But I think when there are trials and tribulations and conflicts and what have you, that's where you see what people are really made of. And what I try and do now with pretty much anybody, to be honest, and I think it says a lot about, my psychology probably, but I try and have no expectations out of people. Or I try and have very, very low expectations. There's very few people in my life that I actually have expectations for, honestly. Because I think a lot of people's issues come about because they had the wrong expectations out of somebody. They had the wrong assumptions of somebody. And when you're chilling with somebody and you're having a good time and, all of that, it's like, we're just largely unaware of the baggage and the trauma and the inner work someone has or hasn't done. And so I think having lowered expectations, I think, is just not a bad way to go. And that's a way that you can protect yourself too. And so that's why I don't believe, in giving your power to authority figures. I don't believe in just giving your power away to guru people. I try and not have any scapegoats or saviors, basically. So while this person is a stranger and they might be coming into your life, you just have to use discernment every step along the way. But I would say that generally I'm more of a person that, instead of giving people the benefit of the doubts, although I'm a very friendly person, upon first meeting anybody, but in the back of my mind, I'm more of a person that, I'm more cautious and skeptical, and I will allow them to kind of be brought into my life. Instead of just assuming that they're a good person, or assuming that, because they make a good first impression, that's who they actually really are. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I have advice for the stranger, but I guess be cautious, perhaps, with other people when you're dealing with other people right now. You don't really know who they are.
Totally.
We don't really know who we are. Sorry.
Right?
To know who you are takes a lot of work. It's one of the hardest things you can do. It's why a lot of people don't do it. It's the most spiritual thing you could do, in my opinion. So just think about the journey we are on with trying to understand who we are as individuals. Know thyself and you'll know the universe. I don't expect that out of anybody, really. So when I do work with people, I think I am a little bit more cautious than not. Beware of the love bombing. Yeah. There you go. This guy doesn't look like he's about to love bomb anybody, but you never know. Maybe that door flings wide open and that's going to be his game or whatever. But anyways, what were you going to say?
You just dropped a ton of fucking bomb gravy. That's what.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Solid wisdom.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's definitely not a bad way to go about things, right? Just lowering expectation a little bit. And I love this quote that Andrea typed up for us. Expectation is the root of all heartache, right? Yeah, totally.
For sure.
Yep. So sorry.
No, go for it.
The cards that I got for you, Cancer, we actually got the Queen of Cups, which is very Cancerian. Check out
Very
that full
watery.
moon. What up?
Water of water.
Right? Very watery. She is content AF. You know why? Because she's taking care of her needs first. Right?
Nice.
She's only dipping one toe into the ocean. So it's like, yeah, I need a little bit more. So I'm going to just dip my toe in. But like, we don't need to dive in right now. We don't need to commit and become overly emotional. We actually can take responsibility for our own emotions, right? And take care of our own needs first. That's the healthy Queen of Cups archetype to me. And this whole like idea of nurturing the self has come up a lot in a lot of different readings, and I feel like that's really important. Just as we're finishing out Cancer season, and as we're going into Leo season, keep nurturing yourself, right? Keep doing the things for you that you need to do in order to stay stable, so that if shit hits the fan, when things hit the fan, that you're already like prepared, because you're already in a good place emotionally and mentally. And then I got a second card, actually. They came out at the same time with the Ace of Swords.
Whoa. Dun, dun, dun. That's an interesting Ace of Swords. And I love the fact that the queen wasn't seated in her throne, but standing up, but the throne was in the background. That's awesome little detail.
That is a yep, that could play into the symbolism of it for sure.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. So it's like she's tapping into her emotional maturity. You know, she's taking care of herself, and she's tapped in just a little bit into the synchronistic ocean. Yeah. Right? But not too much. Not so much that it's overwhelming. And from that, kaboom! The sword of truth emerges from the lake.
Yeah. That's cool.
I've never thought about the symbolism of this coming up from the water before. That's fascinating.
That is.
Wow. So yeah, Cancer. Oh, I do hear the echo. Weird. Don't be afraid to speak the truth. Right? And yeah, just don't be afraid to speak the truth when the time is right. And you'll know when the time is right, because it will feel correct in that moment. I guess that's what I would say.
Very cool. I know it's a biblical thing, but I'm pretty sure somewhere in there it says, wear the truth like your armor. You know, yes. I like that a lot.
Wow, that's such a Cancer thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Totally.
Just armor in general. I love that.
For sure.
Yeah, dude. Lady of the Lake. Word. Yeah. Wow, I love that. Boom, 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 boom. Gemini. Thank you, Gemini, for staying around 2.5 hours.
For real.
Oh man, there's so much gravy in here too. It's like, you gotta watch the whole thing. You know what I mean? Okay. You do not have to watch the whole thing. But anyway, Gemini. Okay. For you, Gemini, Leo is your third house. Third house. So this is fun, actually. The third house is about our expression, how we speak, our attitude. Really is. You can see that from the third house. Part of it, anyway. How you learn things, some of your skills when it comes to your hands. Also your siblings and the neighborhood that you grew up in, or the neighborhood that you live in now. So with Leo lighting up the third house, this could quite literally just trigger you to want to go and travel a little bit around your neighborhood, you know? And when I say neighborhood, like, that could be like just your city or just your town, or it could be a little bit wider than that. It's not like the travel where you go on the other side of the continent. That would be more ninth house travel. And Saturn in your ninth house, by the way, is kind of restricting you from doing that in some way. It's like there's just continual obstacles that keep coming up there. But at the same time, it's like, should you be letting that slow you down, or is that something that you can work on a little bit? Another way that you can look at this third nine opposition is like this groupthink that I've been hinting at with Aquarius, or hammering home really with Aquarius and Saturn. This is like coming from either like teachers, right? because ninth house can be other teachers. And it's interesting that you were just talking about the guru thing, right? So you could be running into like dogmatic teachers, or even it could be some of your own personal beliefs that need to be reconstructed. The Leo opposition in your third house, this to me says that there could be some kind of information that comes in for you, third house information, that helps you think more authentically for yourself. Right? So that's that.
Nice.
I'm going to leave it at that for now. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I think there's certain things that you said in there that resonate and click with what I'm already pulling for Gemini.
Classic. Yeah, Benjamin, totally. For Cancer, newfound truths, 100%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No.
Okay.
All good.
Word. Okay. Oh, you're ready.
Oh yeah. I'm totally ready.
Okay.
So I pulled the Magician card again. That's interesting, twice in a row. And so, and I shuffled and everything else, right? Obviously. But you were saying, you know, the teacher thing, the guru thing, the new information, you know, this card corresponds with Mercury, you know, and so Mercury, I would say if there's a planet, obviously they all in a way have their own thing with teaching. I know someone said earlier, Saturn with mastery. Saturn is also a teacher. Obviously, he's more of a harsh disciplinarian that way, but you're going to learn a lot of lessons because of Saturn, you know, a lot of important lessons. And so I love me some Saturn. I think Saturn's awesome. He's my homie, you know, but if there is like a planet that definitely corresponds with like the teacher or that guide, it is, I think, Mercury. I think of Mercury right off the bat. That's why Thoth is related to Mercury. Hermes is related to Mercury, you know. So when I think of like great teachers and people of that ilk, I think of mercurial type figures. And so, you know, you can be in a lot of ways too your own best teacher. You can be your own best ally. You can be your own best friend. You know, I think that it's awesome. I completely acknowledge that I do not live in a vacuum. And so there are lots of brilliant people that I've learned from over the years, and I give all of those people credit. You know what I mean? But you are like the catalyst to be able to actually like want to learn that stuff. You know, it has to start with you anyway. So you could have an amazing teacher and they're talking, and if you're not interested, then it's not going to stick. It's not going to resonate, anything like that. So you have a part to play in your own journey here. Magician is the entrepreneur too. Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, so merchant, mercantile, MER, you know, so a lot of merchants like, what am I going to say? Mercury was like the planet that they would revere, you know, because it also has to do with this flow, right? The flow of money, the flow of currency, the flow of customers, things like that. And so there's a lot having to do with like currency and currents with mercurial type of energy and allowing things to flow. I even think of the infinity sign right there, right? And so it's this constant flowing, this inner flowing sort of thing. Okay, so the Magician card, I kind of spoke about that during Cancer. I think a lot of it has to do with, once again, the one, you being that one, you being a pole, a central pole that, you know, can extend from the heavens down to the earth. So 24 is the scales, which I think it's interesting. Oh, I have to say this too, but Gemini is obviously ruled by Mercury. And so the fact that the Magician card came up, there's a mercurial energy with Gemini just like completely baked into it. And I mentioned this pole, the number one, you know, that's just one part of the Gemini symbol, you know. So the pole itself, the phallus itself, the pillar itself is a mercurial symbol, arguably. And so when you see the Gemini symbol, you basically are just seeing two pillars or two poles, right? And then you're creating this third energy, kind of like with Gebo, you know, these two pillars, and then there's that middle way, or the symbolic third pillar, right, that you can walk through. And so the scales, Okay, so that's interesting. I don't know if I don't remember this artwork at all, but obviously, yeah, dude. I started listening to the interview today actually, and of course, it's awesome. And so, you guys together, dude, and he's just so next level, man. So 100%. I know. I really need to do that. Scales, I think of Libra. I think of justice or adjustment, which is another air sign. Gemini, I think of the twins. I think of the good twin and the bad twin, and this polarity or duality. So, there is an adjustment to be had here, and everything seeks equilibrium here in this reality, in this plane, in my opinion. So, listen to your gut instinct, listen to, your thoughts as they actually are coming to you. And it's like, what needs to be adjusted? What needs to be balanced here? And there's so many different ways of looking at that. But personally, I think a lot of it has to do with inner work, and what's going on internally. Are you internally balanced? Are things, in harmony within? So that's what I would say.
I fucking love that.
Nice. Cool.
So
that's what's up.
Right? That's what's up. So Gemini. A big theme with this Saturn Leo opposition for you, I feel, is going to be challenging limiting beliefs. Because the card that I got for you is the 9 of fucking Pentacles upright. Okay. Speaking of entrepreneurial energy, okay. Let's take this out for a second. Speaking of entrepreneurial energy, this is like independent wealth. Okay. This is finally like, okay, so after you have realized, hey, I actually am the motherfucking magician, okay, and taking on that mantle and realizing that you actually have way more skills than you give yourself credit for, once you've done that, and once you have like balanced things out with the scales and made sure that you're doing the inner work as well, what comes out of that is success, okay? Like wild success, okay? That's the 9 of Pentacles. That's beautiful. And the rune that I got for you, Gemini, is Algiz. Algiz or Elas. There's 2 ways to read this. So this is number 15, and it can be an elk, like elk antlers is one way to interpret it. It can also be like sedge grass. So it's a couple ways to look at it, but it's life, it's protection, and it's communication with a higher force, higher being, higher self, higher power, whatever the fuck. It's energy coming down into you, right? So a lot of your reading so far to me has been about you are your own pole, right? That's the most important part, is making sure that number 1 is taken care of. And I feel like as soon as you start making serious dedicated moves into maybe some kind of entrepreneurial thing, or maybe some kind of project where you're really working hard to put yourself out there more, it's gonna happen. It's gonna come to you. So yeah, that's what I'm picking up with that. Okay. And you're protected. Awesome. Okay. You're protected.
Nice.
Good night, Nicholas.
See you later.
I love that. Gemini, you fucking got this, okay? Okay. Oh,
sweet.
That's a great rune to have by your front door. That's wonderful. I love that. Thank you, says the Gemini rising. Magic is the key to rising vibration of pole and reality. Word.
Hello, artist seer. It's nice to see you. Friends with her in real life. Yes.
Oh, really? Mari?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mari's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I wasn't going to say her name, but you know what I mean. But yeah, Mari is fantastic. She's good stuff. She doesn't care. Trust me.
Sorry, Mari.
She's Mari. That's cool. She's watching though. That's awesome. I've done tarot with her. Oh yeah, all sorts of different things. Campouts. You name it.
Sweet. That's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Taurus. Bull gang in the house. Okay. the, the extra silly start coming out around this time.
I could feel that actually.
Like less Saturn, more Uranus. Okay.
Yep.
So Leo is your fourth house. This is a 4th and 10th axis transit, this Sun Saturn thing that's going down. All right. So, 4th house energy, Sun into the 4th house. What is going on at home that you need to take care of? And is there anything coming up at home where you need to stand up for yourself and make your presence known? You know, and then, and then with Saturn in the 10th house, this is really a big part of this is making sure that, again, like as I talked about with Scorpio, making sure that your root is healthy so that you can reach up. Saturn in the 10th is more like there's a lot of responsibilities that you've been taking on as far as like your public image goes or your career goes, and your obligations to society go. Those are 10th house themes. So that's important. And Saturn is going to keep throwing you like different tasks really that you need to complete to finish so that you can really gain that mastery. And that's the tough teacher, right? There is a potential of facing off against some kind of authority figure. Whether you give them power over you or not is another story entirely. We do live in a realm with rules, supposedly anyway. I don't know how I feel about those personally. You can tell there's like a battle going on inside of me as I talk about this, but you know, people that say that they have authority over you, do they really? And this Sun Saturn opposition, you're going to find that out for yourself. So when it comes to the individuation process, this is the highest priority for you right now, is making sure that no matter what's going on, no matter what kind of a career path you're on, no matter what kind of authority figure you're facing down, even if it's just the supposed authority of the crowd, question mark. I'm just thinking Aquarius on the 10th kind of themes. What's more
That's
important
huge.
is
Yeah, that's fascinating. Sorry, I just have to say
right.
that's interesting. Yes, for sure. But please
Right.
continue.
What's more important? It's all good. What's more important is making sure that you're staying 100% true to yourself. So, yeah, the authority to kiss my ass.
Hey,
Yeah,
J-Lo.
right, exactly. Right, JLo's awesome. Let's get it, bull gang. What?
Dude, I love my Tauruses. I have so many in my life. It's one of my favorite signs. Right. I attract them for whatever reason. It's probably in my chart somewhere, but they're good stuff. And so you were talking about, you know, things relating to the home, responsibilities, etc. And I almost think sometimes too, it's like things related to the home, like it might seem mundane to take care of certain kinds of responsibilities or chores or what have you. But you know, seeing things on a bigger picture, I think, can kind of help with some of that stuff. And I think that this guy has a big picture mentality. I think that he's holding the globe, and we won't even get into that discussion. But he's holding the globe symbolically because he has a grander perception of things. You know, he's seeing things on a larger scale. Traditionally, when I pull this card, I like to think that he's ready to step through this symbolic gateway that's being created with the two wands beside him, you know? And he is going on a journey. He's going on a journey that I think isn't necessarily common. It's not mundane. It's not your everyday journey sort of thing. And so I just think that having a different awareness of like your daily life and like what that means on a grander sort of bigger level, you know, as above so below, once again, like what you were saying earlier about like ritualizing or having kind of like a spiritual awareness of like seemingly like everyday tasks or whatever, if it's like washing your dishes or whatever, you know, just kind of acknowledging like it's a small act. A lot of things that we have to do on a daily basis are kind of smaller in scale. but they actually represent something much, much larger, you know? So if you're choosing to take care of yourself, if you're choosing to do the right thing, if you're choosing to appreciate the things that you even have in your life, you know, that goes a long way. And so it's really easy. I think when people get into like really like messed up situations and they're in a funk, you know, you're so isolated. And a lot of times I feel like you're just kind of like, you're not seeing the big picture. You know, you're really caught up in this very small sort of way of looking at things. But opening yourself up, I think, can just kind of do wonders. So I think if there are domestic things that you do have to take care of, you know, just kind of like appreciate what that means on like a much larger, bigger spiritual sort of scale, right? So even, you know, something as simple as going on a walk and exercising or whatever, it's like some of these types of things, you know, they may not seem like that big of a deal, but I mean, you'd be surprised actually at what that means on a larger level, because these types of things add up and these attitudes add up too. So if you're doing it and you're kind of not appreciating what's going on a larger sort of grander level, maybe you should do that. Okay, so also you mentioned roots once again. I love that theme, just that topic in general. And here we have the Tower, number 25. And notice that it's not coming down. So this is different. This is not a tarot deck. So it's not coming down, but it is just, it's firm. It's erect. It's there. There's a foundation. You know, it's on this hill. And so, sorry, those are just the words that came to mind immediately. But
It's
you know
okay.
what I mean. It is the Tower.
This is
though.
Giggle Tarot.
It is.
It is
That's
the
true.
Tower.
That's true. And so it's the Tower. So yeah, I mean, I would say it's kind of interesting. It's even like symbolic of this tower. Notice that it kind of like fans down, you know, with that hill. One of the esoteric things that I'm kind of geeking out on right now, I'd like to learn more about it, but I think a lot of these structures like obelisks and stuff that are shooting straight up and they look very phallic, they go down. They go down into the earth. You know, the people who build these things, they're well aware of the power of roots, you know, and of things being above and below, you know. So if you're going to have a structure, if you're going to have a tall tree, just like what you were saying earlier too, you know, you need to make sure that the roots need to go down. The roots need to be strong and go within the earth, or else that tree is just going to topple over, whatever. So an acknowledgement of roots. You're a Taurus, so I would imagine, I don't know, does that come easier for Taurian people? Or is it harder, or what? They're very earthy, you know, obviously.
Yeah, earthy. I don't know. I'm
I don't know
becoming more
either.
and more. I'm becoming more and more cautious about generalizing,
Oh, I can see
stereotyping
that. Of
signs.
course. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's on their fourth house. You know what I mean? I don't
Well,
know.
even though we've done it several times throughout this episode, and I hear you. It's not that simple. It's not
shit.
it's not cut and dry. It's painting with broad strokes, right?
Totally.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it might be okay. So if you put Taurus on the first house, then that makes Leo the fourth house. So that might be like fun and exciting to go into your root. You know what I mean? It's Leo. It's like, wow, this is an adventure. But I don't know. I'm like, maybe. But if you have like Taurus on the fourth house, for example, like my IC is in Taurus, so that Taurus is my root. I, you know, so like, yeah, I don't know if I'd say easier, but I can
Okay.
get stuck there, and that can kind of be like a shadow side Taurus is like getting stuck. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, fair enough.
You're asking great questions, though. I really fucking appreciate that.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah.
I think I have better questions than answers, probably.
Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so I have to laugh because and I was laughing because you're like, maybe you just need to go for a walk, and I had I pulled the Princess of Wands, and she's going for a fucking walk. I mean, I actually love her dress. Okay, she's got like little salamanders on her dress. She's like, la 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 la. I'm gonna take this beautiful fire ass bomb energy and just go for a fucking walk. So, like, yeah, Taurus, that's definitely some great advice. Yeah, seriously. The other thing that I love about the Princess of Wands is this is another one where they're barefoot. So that's really cool. So even though she's very fiery, which is like full of passion and inspiration and like just like ready to shine very brightly, she's still connected to Mother Nature. She's still grounding, right? She has both the staff and bare feet. So she is grounding. She's still exchanging energy with the earth, and that actually makes her more powerful in my opinion. So that's really just friggin' beautiful. Sam, stop it. Shh, don't tell them our secrets.
It's so true.
I am a shoe hater. This is true. Except I do have one pair of like really nice heels that I'm like, yeah, but those ones are fun. Yeah. Anyway, no, I think that's a really cool detail about the art in this deck is some of the court cards have shoes and some of them don't. And I'm like, why? So it makes me think about what does it mean to not have shoes on? You know, so anyway, that's what I think about. So the rune that I pulled for you, Taurus, is hilarious because I associate in my brain, it's not officially, quote unquote, officially associated with Taurus, but to me, it's a very Taurus rune because this is Urus, which represents the aurochs, which is an ancient cow. Okay, so the aurochs. Number 2. I love that this is also paired with the Princess of Wands because this is about okay, well, first of all, let's talk about the fact that it's the 2. Okay. This is about working in tandem with something, whether it is the farmer working in tandem with the ox in order to plow his fields, right? You can't force the ox to do it. Not really. You can try. You can try and force a Taurus to do something. Just fucking watch. Just see what happens. How, yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. Speaking of stubbornness.
I just always think, literally, think of how bull moves. They can't get out of it once they've set their direction. You know, that's why these bullfighters and stuff, they can just move just like very quickly, and it's just like not. It's like literally 1 or 2 feet, and they don't get hit. You know, I almost think of like a large ship. You know, a large ship takes a really long time to turn a corner and to change direction.
Totally.
You know, that's just the deal. So anyway,
100%. Yeah. I feel that. As a Taurus sun, I feel that. Ah, shit. Yeah. But anyway, so Urus, right? There's so many things to talk about with this rune that's literally just the second rune, but to me it definitely talks at least in part about working in tandem with something, whether that's your own strength, your own fiery energies, your own sexual energy, and harnessing that in a productive way. That's usually my first kind of go-to interpretation for Urus. It's like, yeah, you've got all of this energy, but what are you going to do with it? Are you going to waste it? Are you going to spend it over here? Like, especially with Mars in Taurus right now and Uranus and Rahu, this is a lot of Taurus energy and a lot of unexpected and unpredictable energy. So do your best to ground it. Fucking beautiful advice right on the card right there. Boom. Fuck shoes. You're right, Chance. But also, like I said, with quite a few signs already, make sure you're still moving forward. The other thing about Urus that I want to talk about is that it does talk about some kind of wealth isn't the right word, but resources. And that's a big, I mean, fiery energy is a resource. Whether we want to think of it like that or not, it is. So again, how are you using it? What are you using it towards? And yeah. This is why medical astrology is the best. I love it. And it's so true. It's like one of the things I learned is like when something is happening on one side of the axis, the other side of the axis can get activated. And like constipation, the rectum is Scorpio. So, you know, careful. You just got to be careful with that. Good times.
There's
anyway.
A couple of tangents with Scorpio, Taurus, and constipation that I want to go on. but I'm not going to. Symbolically,
For another time.
that's very interesting. Yeah. Another time. But you
That's
know,
funny.
I'm gonna take a quick potty break if you don't mind, and I will be
Yeah, dude.
right back. Yeah.
For sure.
So one
I
second.
will wax on about astrology.
I'll be listening though. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Go. All right. Aries, finally. By the time I get to Aries, I'm like, yeah, Aries. I don't have anything against Aries. I love you guys. Okay, so Leo is your fifth sign. This is really fun to think about the fifth first kind of relationship. Okay, so like Leo is the child of Aries. Fifth house is children. Leo or Aries loves Leo. So Aries archetype, Aries people, Aries first house, love fun and play and joy and pleasure and theatrics and stuff, right? So that's kind of just a fun thing to think about. So Leo season, right? This is about creative self-expression. Quite literally, it is about enjoying yourself with hobbies, maybe even taking a vacation, right? Finding something that is pleasurable to do with your time, right? Yeah. With Saturn in the 11th house, right? This 5th, 11th axis. You want to have fun. You want to be spending time and energy towards your creative endeavors, and that's fantastic. Keep in mind that Saturn is going to throw some obstacles in your way. It's not a bad thing. These obstacles would be coming from like, what are your longer term goals and wishes and dreams? So like one way that this could potentially play out is like, okay, this is where I want to go and what I want to do in the long term, but fun is calling me right now. So it's like you might need to decide a little bit and maybe like, you know, temper one or the other side of that axis a bit, or find ways to work around those obstacles that are coming at you from the 11th house. So yeah, that's just a couple of things that I think about. The 11th house can also be your wider social network, right? And gains and rewards from your career. I don't talk about that very often with the 11th house, but it's the second from the 10th. And if the 10th is your career and second house signifies resources, then it's the resources that you gain from your career. 11th house. So quick astrology lesson for you. Boom. Yeah, anyway. So like rewards and things. Saturn here can sometimes like not necessarily. Okay, so here's the thing with Saturn, all right? He doesn't deny forever. It's just delayed. So if it feels like you've been plugging away and grinding and it's not very fun and you just want to have fun now, because you're maybe not seeing the return that you thought you would, just keep going because the hard work will pay off. Yeah. Saturn demands work and mastery. Okay. And then you get the reward. So that's just kind of what I got to say about that, Aries.
Nice. Very cool. I mean, what I've pulled already definitely resonates with some of what you're saying.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, buddy. And why are you asking your social network if you should or not?
Dude, you definitely should. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, man. Okay. I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, please go for it.
Sorry.
I'm all
you're
good
ready.
now.
Okay.
So, you know.
Okay. You do your thing while I go back and read the chat.
Okay, right on. Sounds good. Ace of Pentacles. You know, you're talking about rewards. I think of rewards. You're talking about pleasure or like, you know, seeking hobbies. Of course. That's hilarious. Okay.
No, we're not going there tonight.
No. Next time. So the Ace of Pentacles rewards, you were talking about you know, seeking out, doing hobbies, you know, doing something fun. I bet he does. That's awesome. And I feel like this card could potentially represent, you know, those rewards clearly, you know, but simple pleasures, too. That if you're wanting to do something to have a good time, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be really simple. It could literally just be like communing with nature, and perhaps, leaving town. There is a doorway there in the background. There is a path, leading elsewhere or whatever. But I think of the abundance of nature whenever I see this card. I think of the abundance of the universe and everything that it provides. I'm of the opinion, by the way, that when you see the 5-pointed star, this is a direct reference to Venus. That when you see a 5-pointed star anywhere, it is Venus, because it creates the 5-petaled flower. Sometimes it's called the Venus rose, the Venus pentacle in the sky. It takes 8 years for it to create. This is from the perspective of Earth. So even when you see like the star and crescent moon, I think that they're showing you the relationship of Venus and lunar symbolism, in my opinion. And so I think a lot of Venusian symbols, again, just enjoying and appreciating like nature for what it is. Yes, there you go. Dude, that reminds me of the deck from last time or a couple times ago. Or whatever, the tarot with the food and everything. That was hilarious.
Andrea's food oracle. That was fun. I'm going to bring her back because that was fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you should. And so relating to this hobby sort of thing, and you even said skills, and literally this is the skills card. This is number 9. And so I think that's interesting that you brought up all of that stuff. And I'm just like looking at this card relating to skills and, these skills being able, to bring and manifest things, bring resources, bring new opportunities, etc. And so I would say, go ahead.
I don't know if you know this, but Cancer's psychic as fuck. Okay, just so you know.
I've heard
that's all you, bud.
Yeah, nice. So with skills, maybe, I don't know, developing new skills, a lot of skills and hobbies, like they could just overlap with each other. And so it's just kind of like having fun developing new skills, treating it more like a hobby instead of, it being work or being something that you have to like really grind out or whatever. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I got for you here. I like a lot of what you said. I feel like there's a few loose ends that you mentioned that I'm not really completing here, but it's all good.
That's okay. My cards I'm counting 8 arrows. Is that correct? There was a question.
Yes. So 8. Yeah, for sure. 8. And maybe even the bow itself can be the 9th sort of object there. Completing that 9. Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Aries. What do I got for you? Whoa, that's a lot of cards, Aries. Relax.
Chill out, Aries. Jeez.
Chill out a little bit. I know you waited 3 hours, but like, relax, bro.
I feel slightly guilty that they waited this long and it's towards the end. I don't know where your energy meter is, but it has to peter out, by this point. Getting close.
I got my selenite unicorn horn.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, dude, I started to get really tired. And it's actually been helpful for me to I've been like doing, actually there's a couple mudras that I've been doing where I'm like, okay,
mudra?
I need more oxygen. No, not that one. Yeah, actually the one that Chance showed us when he was on here last, where you go like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this. There we go, like that, like that, and then you put your arms out to the side. Just nice. Yeah, like pulls your like chest apart, basically. It opens up the lungs. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, it's been a learning curve for me, going from like doing like maybe 1 or 2 readings, or like maybe recording a reading and then posting like just one at a time or whatever, to doing a whole stream that's really long of a bunch of them all in a row. So I'm tapping into lots of different people's energies. So it's been an interesting learning curve, learning how to like stop and like separate and like ground, and then like
totally
before I keep going. So
yeah, it's
interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Aries. Enough blabber. I've got the Prince of Cups for you, which is a very fifth house energy, by the way. This is the romancer, okay? Fifth house is pleasure, right? Yeah. I love it. That's beautiful. Again, no shoes. Just saying. So anyway, Prince of Cups. This is someone that is in the pursuit of fun and pleasure and joy, right? Quite simply. That's the Prince of Cups. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that. So, you know what? As far as the like Leo Saturn opposition goes, defend your fun, okay? Like we need that. We need that.
It's important.
Oh fuck, I just looked at the bottom of the deck. Oh shit. God damn it, why did I do that? It changes the whole reading. So there's this version of the devil card, Cerninos, on the bottom of the deck.
Ooh,
which to me talks about responsible use of sexual energy. We're talking about Leo. We're talking about the fifth house. We're talking about the Prince of Cups. So there's a lot of this pleasure and fun and sexual energy abound, right? And Saturn in your 11th house is like, yeah, but you've got responsibilities, brah. So Cerninos, the devil coming out, is like, make sure that you are being responsible still in your pursuit of pleasure. So yeah, exactly. Why did I have to do that? Why did I have to fucking look? Anyway, yeah.
Okay,
and I didn't
so
pull
question.
Yet, so.
Just real quick. So does that deck, are all of the princes on horseback?
Yes.
And then all of the knights, are there knights in that deck?
So the
Yes,
princes are the knights, the princesses are the pages.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's king, queen, prince, and princess rather than knight and page. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they like evened out the gender thing or sex thing or whatever. Yeah. So
right.
the rune that I got for you, Aries, this is an interesting one. This is solo. All right. This is number 16. This is quite literally a strike of lightning or the sun itself. So this is the power of the sun. That's kind of interesting. So this is really, to me, about shining with your inner authenticity and your inner authority. That's the whole of the message of this rune, is not falling prey to somebody else's supposed authority over you and being your own master. That's what this rune says to me, right? It's a fucking lightning bolt, but it's coming from you, okay? Not from anybody else. Boom. Why did I have to look? That's funny. Woo! That was a lot. We did it.
Hell yeah, dude.
We did it. High five.
Oh, are we gonna play rock paper scissors? Is that on the table here, and have it be awkward, like with you and Rachel? That's why whenever I've purchased a reading, that's what I want. Honestly, it's really hilarious to watch that, especially with the delay and everything. So I'm throwing that out there. If anybody wants us to rock paper scissors at any point, I'm down.
We could do that. Well, okay, so Andrea wants a reading. Okay, actually, hold on. Let me go in order. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Andrea wants 2 cards, but she didn't say for who from whom. She just said not for taxes. So,
is she in the chat?
Laugh. You're so funny. Right? I think she is. Yeah, cool. She should be. Yep.
Yeah,
there she is. What would you like us to rock paper scissors for your cards? Then you do what I want. One tarot for me, one side duck for you.
Side duck, right on.
That deck is now just the side duck. Okay, we can do that.
Cool.
And then we can rock paper scissors for who goes first.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. Okay, we can do that.
Did you
Ready?
See me light up. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah,
1, 2,
I saw
3,
the
shoot.
excitement,
Yeah, yeah.
especially because we're going into Leo season. We got to have some fun.
That's right.
I
This is
love
how
that.
we have fun around here, for sure.
Where
Good
we do
queen
rock paper
fun.
scissors.
So, are we doing 2 out of 3 or just like what?
Yeah, let's do 2 out of 3.
Okay.
Unless I win the first time, then.
Okay.
Just kidding. Okay. So wait. So 1, 2, 3, then shoot.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So no
Okay.
cheating.
No cheating. Okay.
Okay. Oh God.
1, 2, 3. Oh wait, 3, and then shoot. I got scissors.
Did a gun.
You got a gun? That's illegal.
Just because we said shoot, so I was like, gun? I've officially lost it. Oh shit. Woo, okay, we gotta do that again.
Okay. I kind of messed
Sorry.
up.
Oh
I
my
shot on
God.
the third thing, but it's 1, 2, 3, then shoot. Okay. I got this.
Oh my God, this is chaotic as fuck. Okay, we got this. Woo. All right.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, this is going nowhere. Okay.
Oh my God.
Whoever wins first. We're not doing best out of 3. That'll take forever. Yeah. Totally. Okay.
Oh my God. Ooh, I need a minute. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Nice.
You win.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Holy fuck, that's funny. Oh, whoo, shout out to everybody that stayed this entire time. You guys are the real
I know,
OGs.
really. For real.
Oh my
Okay.
God, that's funny. Woo. I love how excited you are about that. That's so sweet.
It's a good time. What can I say? All right. So,
Oh
card
man,
cam.
welcome back, Nicholas. Okay, Nicholas, you just missed rock paper scissors, and it was the best.
It was.
Oh fuck.
Liberation. It's interesting that you talked about incarceration earlier. And here this person has like busted out of jail or something. And so you can see the ropes on the floor. He's on horseback. They're on horseback. They're taking off. Yeah, I know. That's true. Right. For sure. And so I feel as though, there's a yearning or a calling to be released from something, and I think the question is kind of like, what might that be? And that's up for you to decide, in my opinion. As we've said before, it's like the whole entire thing with you are your own worst enemy, you get in your own way. So I'm inclined to think that this is something something that is within your control, not something that's outside of your control, so it could be a bad habit that you want to stop. It could be something that you've wanted to come to an end that you've just been delaying, in order to feel more liberated, in order to feel more at peace, in order to do that next thing, so notice that there's 2 doors open too. But yeah, totally. The slammer. I haven't heard that term in forever.
You are not going to jail, Andrea.
Yeah, you are not going to jail. You're not going to jail for not paying your back taxes. I don't think that's the deal. So, but yeah, just notice that there's 2 doors open. And so I think that is, just symbolically as it relates to liberation, look, there's a key, inside of the door. So it's like, what's the key for you to open that door, to step through, to feel more liberated? In a way, I just have to say, I'm kind of reminded of Chiron a little bit, and the symbol for Chiron being a key, and how, that key is symbolic of like healing your wounds or traumas are a key to personal development, and breaking free of self, even, I would say. So just something to think about. But that's what you got, liberation from the Psyduck deck.
Nice. Keep that up for a second.
Cool.
Fascinating, because I got, for you, Andrea, I got the Prince of Pentacles. So here's one that does have shoes on. Oh, wrong finger. There you go. So anyway, Prince of Pentacles. So perhaps you're being liberated from some financial burden, or there's a financial situation that you are finding some kind of freedom through or from. It's kind of the same thing, but said in a different way. I think it will be. Do you hate bare feet, really? That's funny. So I don't know. Maybe this is about just being very careful and meticulous about your budgeting right now. And what's really interesting to me, I've been really contemplating this a lot about how certain restrictions and structure can actually give you more freedom.
I was
in a
just going to
way.
say that. Absolutely.
Right. And now I'm having throat issues. So I don't know if that's just talking for 3 hours or if that's a throat chakra thing where you need to be speaking up about something that's really important to speak up about that has to do with your finances or has to do with planning for your future. So that's what I got for you, my love.
Discipline can very much be related to liberation and freedom, and I would say to creativity as well. So sometimes if you're feeling stuck, you might need to be a little creative in order to figure out how to bust out of there.
Word.
Cool.
Word. I love that. I mean, it could just be me talking for 3 hours, but I don't know.
Probably.
I don't believe in coincidences anymore at the same time. So okay. So Chance. Oh my God, Chance.
Uh-oh.
Just uh-oh. We'll get there. We'll get there.
First natural response. Just kidding.
Uh-oh. What kind of shit is you stirring now? Exactly. Okay, so J-Lo would like 1 rune and 1 card from each of us. Would you like one of the side deck cards or a tarot card from Mario? Curious minds want to know. Also, should we do rock paper scissors to see who goes first again?
Are you asking me or J-Lo?
You.
Oh well, dude, you know my answer already.
Okay. In honor of Leo season, more games.
the giggle quota, as Chance was saying. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I think just whoever wins first, though. No 2 out of 3. That takes too long.
Okay, fair enough. And J-Lo says whichever deck you're called to draw from.
Oh, cool.
Okay. All right. This is chaos.
1, 2, 3. Shoot. Oh,
yes.
You got me. Nice.
Not the gun this time. I pulled out the scissors. I didn't bring the gun to the rock fight. Like, it's not a sword fight because it's scissors. Okay, anyway. All right, so 1 rune and 1 card from each of us. All right, so I'll do the rune first. J-Lo, J-Lo. You're awesome, J-Lo.
She is. I really appreciate her.
Mm-hmm. Also, I got you, Nicholas. I got you, buddy. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Just one. Jesus. Okay, sweet. Ah, cool. Okay, I'll talk about this rune, and then you talk about that card. Okay, so I got for you, I pulled this rune earlier, actually. Evas, again. So 13. So this is about expansion up at the same time as you're expanding down, right? Up and down. This is definitely about accessing new heights and new depths, synchronizing above and below and above. And yes, it does work both ways. You don't just say as above, so below. It's as above, so below, as below, so above. This is a really key concept and something that I'm really working to incorporate into my astrology readings and tarot readings. Like, we inform the mysteries as much as they inform us. It's both. It's yes, and it's not just you are controlled by these planets. It's you are affecting things around you as much as they are affecting you. It is always both. So that's what I think of when I look at this rune for you, J-Lo.
Nice. Very cool. And I rolled the dice to choose the deck, and the dice, not me, the dice chose the tarot deck. And I also used the dice to pull the card, and you got the Ace of Cups. And so it's really nice. It's a beautiful card. I love it. I think of Holy Grail symbolism, and I think of how the Holy Grail as just kind of a relic. I think symbolically, a lot of these older relics, the Philosopher's Stone, the Holy Grail, the Spear of Destiny, they're all aspects of us, in my opinion. And so it's like, you are a vessel, you're a vessel of God, you're a vessel of spirits. And so it's like, what do you choose to put into your container, into your cup, And then also, because the cups have to do with the emotions in water, it's like, I'm guessing that, there are things flowing right now, in one way or the other. And to just acknowledge that flow and appreciate that flow and just let it come through, and not suppress those feelings, those emotions, you know what I mean? Just kind of like let it kind of come through. And so I think that ether and spirit too, I think has a very close relationship to water. I think water is, just one of obviously several ways that it can be expressed. So we have the gas, we have the solid, the ice, etc. I think spirit ether is just another aspect of water. So I see a very strong spiritual sort of etheric sort of quality to this card too. And so I would say, yeah, just kind of like ask yourself like what you're feeling, and just kind of take note, I guess, and be cool with it, and respond accordingly, act accordingly based on what's coming through. Don't deny your emotions. Go ahead.
Yes. I went to shuffle and noticed that there was a card flipped over. And I was like, that's weird. I didn't notice that before. Huh. And it's the Ace of Pentacles.
Ooh. Okay.
So I was like, that's really weird, but okay, I'll take it. I mean, we are talking about J-Lo, so like, yeah, I can. Yeah, the magic is there. So
that's cool. That's cool.
I love you, J-Lo. So anyway, I love the art on this. Okay, the bear is emerging in spring, right? Mama bear, her babies are right behind her. And when I think of J-Lo, she has a very, very strong mama bear energy. And I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. But anyway, this is the birth of a new project, right? Something tangible that's in the physical, right? So we're talking about water with the Ace of Cups, and we're talking about something physical. We're talking about our emotions, and we're talking about the practical, everyday application of that. Whether it is some kind of, oh, dude. Of course, I see this on this card as I'm talking to you.
What did I do?
Yeah, it's not you. It's not you. There's the pentacle there, and there's Ursa Major.
Woo! Dude, I was going to say, because the bear was right there, and I'm like, Ursa Major, of course. And then that's cool. That's a nice detail. That's awesome that they put that in there. Hell yeah.
That is really cool. I love this deck. So, okay, with that in mind, now that I've spotted that, pivot a little bit. Where are you going that you feel aligns to your true north? Right? What kinds of things do you need to take care of in order to make sure that you can make it there, right? Like, if you're about to go and climb a mountain, you don't just like, you don't not plan that, right? You don't just go. You make sure you have the right supplies. You make sure you have enough food for your trip, right? Pentacle, right? Something physical. This could be even something coming in as a gift in response to you responding rather than reacting. So that's another way that you can look at it. Yeah, there's so many ways that you can take this card. Holy crap. But again, the bear and the cave symbolism implies that maybe you're finally coming out of a period of perhaps disillusionment, or even alternatively, if that doesn't resonate, that the cave symbolism is a womb, but it can also be a sacred space. So making sure that you have some kind of sacred space at home. And this is a theme that's come up a lot, I know, in this stream as we're talking about Virgo themes and all of this stuff. But yeah, making sure that you have somewhere that you can retreat to where you feel safe, and you know, creating some kind of like beauty in that area so that you have that space to process those emotions as they come in. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's funny.
Whoa, interesting. And I'll say too, all of the ace cards do have that central pole true north thing going on with it. It's the number one. You know, you even see the four little fountains, smaller fountains coming from the big cup. It's like these are the four winds of the north, the four cardinal directions when you're at the North Pole, etc. And so I think the Holy Grail symbolism applies internally with what I said, but also I think the Holy Grail also symbolically exists at the north as well, you know. And so I think of the Fountain of Youth too, you know, and I see a lot of gifts, you know, in this card from the heavens.
Right.
Including your emotions. Yeah. Even the negative emotions too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Right. 100%. Yeah. How can you know and appreciate the highs without also knowing and appreciating the lows?
That's right. Yeah.
And vice versa.
For sure.
And vice versa. Okay, so this is what Chance said. Fucking Chance. Okay, he said, half a card from you, half a card from Mario. Tear each card in half and then play rock, paper, scissors to decide whose half is on top.
Alrighty.
Okay. Okay, so we can play rock, paper, scissors and decide who pulls a card.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do that.
Oh, Chance. Funny man. You funny man. Okay, ready? All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Shoot. Nice.
No.
All right. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna roll real quick to see if he nice, right on. If he's gonna get a tarot or
no Chance. He said if that's too hard, you can always give me a free card. No.
Yeah. All right. So
terrible customer service. Oh shit. You're funny.
Cool. Okay, so side deck, last deck would like to be acknowledged. What was that?
He said the extra rock, paper, scissors is worth the $10.
Oh, nice. Right up.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
that's funny.
Interesting.
Ooh, card cam.
So side deck. Yep. So this is work. So you see all these mechanisms and gears and whatever. Kind of looks like a Rube Goldberg sort of thing. Number 8. That's kind of interesting for a few different reasons. But you know, it's funny actually. I know Chance has a good work ethic. You know, it's just proof. I mean, just look at his output and look at all the things.
The proof is in the pudding.
It is. It truly is. You know, and so I would just say that this is a reminder, dude, just to keep going, man, and just. You totally got the thing, and I know you and Dylan talked about it, and it was like it had to do with a you know, just the aspect of just doing something and being consistent. And I know that Dylan has that too. And working on yourself. That's what I was going to say. Working on yourself being the way to be more productive, you know, and that working on yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually being the thing that allows the work to continue to be done, you know, and that is something that I know you believe in. And so I feel as though this is just like a keep going sort of thing. Direct answers. And so I don't know, man. I think that you're killing it right now. And I think that what you're doing is freaking awesome. And like every week you're putting out like just banger episodes, honestly, and just really helping a lot of people out too, dude. You know, I can't say enough good things about Chance, but I think it has a lot to do with his work and his perspective. And to me, this is just like, yep, he's doing it and he's going to continue doing it. And I'm sure you already know what you need to do in order just to stay consistent and sustainable that way.
Better work. Sorry, it's that's actually a song. It's just yeah.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Lovely horn.
Can't sing the rest of it for you guys. Thank you very much.
Because that's all you know, or you just don't want to, or you're too tired.
That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
That's all I know. Okay, so Jenny just wants us to play rock paper scissors. I don't even know if she wants a card. Just wants the rock paper scissors. I'm assuming she wants a card too. You know. Oh man. Okay. All right. Okay. Ready?
Just to do it, just to see what happens.
I think she does want a card, but I think it's more about the game.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Okay. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Sorry. Oh my God. I was totally off. Okay. Right, you won.
That's okay. Yes. Okay, Jenny, surprise. All right. Yeah. Better work, bitch. Andrea knew exactly what I was singing. Yep. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet.
Aw, shucks. Nice.
This one. Oh, Jenny, yes. Jenny, strength, lust, and etc. This is fucking awesome, dude. Okay. This is a card of Leo. This is a card about harnessing that creative badassery and channeling it into some fucking sweet projects. Okay? Yeah, that's it. That's all that needs to be said. Embrace that beautiful Leo energy that's coming into, I mean, that's really like activating on Friday. And, you know, make use of it. You know what to do. You know what to do. I know that you know what to do. And I have more to say to you about this in private that I'm going to message you about later, okay? We'll just leave it at that.
I love that it's a boar.
Yeah, that's cool, hey?
Right? Yeah. That's badass. That's
yeah,
cool.
Right? Totally. And her sword is on the grass.
Right. There. Nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass card. But yeah, right? Like, lions don't make sense for Ireland. So, you know.
Right.
Wild boar does make sense. Yeah. I know, it's so beautiful. Yep.
It's easy when everyone's awesome, honestly.
Yeah. That's
Seriously.
true. Okay. All right. And then we got trolls, I tell you. Nicholas. Okay. Nicholas would like one card from each of us. So we could do rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
Nice. Nicholas,
we might as
we. I'm sure you are, but do you want a Psy card or do you want a tarot card? And maybe you count down this time. I'm doing all the work over here, counting down.
All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. It's way harder on this side of the screen.
Oh yeah. There we go.
This is chaos. Oh
right,
my God. Nicholas says tarot, by the way.
Okay, sweet.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. This is insane.
Nice.
I'll let you have it.
Many
oh my
thanks.
God.
Okay. Tarot.
Oh man.
Quick shuffle.
Is it Mango's birthday? Happy birthday, Mango. Mango is Jenny's dog, by the way.
Oh, nice. Right on. Happy birthday, Mango.
He's a sweetie. Okay, Nicholas is asking for insight into his big move in the horizon. Ooh.
Interesting.
Do you know what state you're moving to already, or is that part of what you want insight about? Oh, wow. And then the card you just pulled. Fascinating.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Wow. I told you you're fucking psychic.
When it comes to moving, obviously pentacles, discs, coins make a lot of sense. You're physically moving location, which means that you're going to be like bonding with a new land, right? And then it's expensive. Moving is not cheap, you know. And so okay, nice. I would say that this is a pretty favorable card to in order you know, because you're moving. So I think that this is a pretty positive sign that this is likely going to work out for you, and that there's probably going to be things that come your way because of this move in terms of abundance or opportunities or whatever that maybe you didn't even see coming because you are relocating, you know. I would say because you're moving just in general, but just to be patient, you know, and maybe pentacles are like the slowest element of the four, right? And so if things with the move or aspects after the move don't happen as quickly as you would like them to, then, you know, I think that's okay. And just kind of acknowledge and recognize, oh, that's cool. Nice. Well, there you go, man. I mean, so this is going to be a blessing for you. And so I think that this card is definitely showing that. So good move, man. And best of luck with everything.
So I have a question for you, Nicholas. Are you potentially going to be facing some kind of legal battle? I ask because I pulled Justice. There's a lot of different ways that you can read this card. And she came out upright, by the way. There's a lot of different ways you can read this card. So I just want to start by asking, like, are you expecting any kind of a legal issue or a legal battle, right? So that's just the first most obvious way to read that card is like potentially so like literally a legal victory. The other kind of thing that I think about when I see justice or adjustments come out is like the ability. Okay, cool. What's CDL? What does that mean?
Commercial driver's license, I think.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. Okay, cool. So no legal battles. Sweet. I'm like, cause I can't advise you on that. Okay, cool. No lost stuff. Sweet. Okay, good. I'm like, okay, thank God. Okay, cool. So in that case, justice is just about making sure that you're balancing mercy and severity, right? Responsibility with pleasure, like work and like the work-life balance is important. Hey, did you pass? Did you pass it for sure? Because I mean, this suggests this plus the Ace of Pentacles is suggesting that you did, or will. So that's really cool. Yeah, fuck yeah, bud. Yes.
Nice, dude.
Sweet. Okay. Well, then in that case, like, this is a positive move, right? This is going to definitely help you, like Mario was saying, bond with this new land and just be able to take care of more things for yourself, which is great. And then also because it's closer to your daughter, you'll be able to spend more time with her. And that to me is how you can balance out this mercy and severity thing. So yes. Fuck yeah, buddy. Yeah, good job.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
That's awesome.
So real quick, I just want to add that, you know, because whenever I see the pentacle, I think of the divine feminine via Venus. You know what I mean? So it's like almost a return or a gift of the divine feminine. And,
maybe you should step into the legal ring. You know what I mean? I don't know. maybe not. I don't know. Sorry, keep going.
So because moving is stressful, you know, it's one of the most stressful things anybody can do is move, right? I've heard that it's like changing careers, changing partners, and changing your location are like the three main things that like stress everybody out the most. So I would say transmute that energy too. I'm sure you're already looking forward to it because you're going to connect with your daughter, but appreciate it too. Even appreciate the experience, you know, of packing and unpacking and like going through all your stuff. I know that sounds like counterintuitive or whatever, but appreciate those moments, man. Appreciate just like the journey of everything, you know, and be present and appreciate the small moments with your daughter, and even all of these tiny little things that have to get taken care of. You know, you're living out of a box for like a week or two or whatever, or even longer. You know, it's better to appreciate that stuff than obviously to let it affect you and get you know, annoyed by it or whatever. Very cool, man. That's awesome. Lilith. Well, I don't know if these are lilies down there. Lilith Eve. Do those look like lilies to you down there? Those flowers on the lower left? I know there's several different types of lilies, but that's kind of interesting too.
They do to me, yeah, like Lily of the Valley.
Right? Yeah.
Interesting.
Very cool. That's very much related to Lilith.
Interesting.
Well, cool, dude. Best of luck, man.
Yeah, dude. I love that. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Using the Venusian energy to balance out the severity, right? Right? So I love that you said to appreciate even the stressful moments. That's so true. And like remembering to play a little bit and remembering to find beauty in the weird and dark places, because it's there. But it doesn't sound like you're going through dark stuff. It sounds like you're going through really beautiful stuff. So I fucking love that.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, totally.
That's so cool. Well, I wish you luck on your test. I hope that you do pass it. Yeah. I think you will. I don't know. Justice suggests that you will. So that's cool. Okay. Let's see. Somebody just said that they said Cody or decoded.
Oh, nice.
You gotta tell us the story behind that. Why are you decoded? I need to know. Oh no, you guys. Okay, so he said 2 cards, whatever we feel like pulling from, and 1 from each. So yeah.
Okay.
So 1 card each.
Very cool.
We can do that.
We can absolutely.
I'm fading out. Hold on. I need my selenite. Give me a minute.
Do you feel a difference when you do that?
Well, it's nice and cold, so I feel the cold on my really warm skin.
Okay,
so like
right
that's really nice. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure.
But I like to think I feel a difference, but I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical, but at the same time, I love crystals, so yeah. I don't know. I do feel refreshed afterwards, but I can't tell for sure if it's just the fact that it's a cold stone on my forehead or if it's like fucking selenite on my third eye. I don't know. But
regardless, if it works, it works, you know?
If it works, it works. Exactly. Dude, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah, just how differently your brain functions after being off of cannabis for a while is mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing. Yeah, that's really cool. The first time I ever got clean from cannabis, it took a full month to not pee THC anymore, but they were looking for levels to go down to 0, so it took a really long time. They probably won't be looking for that for you, but yeah.
I'm gonna ask him, have your dreams come back? Did they ever go away, and are they back now? Since you stopped smoking. That's pretty classic. Yeah, and it's really cool when they do come back. You realize how much you miss them.
Yeah, dreaming again. Yep. Oh yes, cool.
That's red.
Okay, so 1 card each from us for Cody. Well, okay, rock paper scissors for who goes first. Let's do this. I'm gonna count, and we're gonna do it right. Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
I'm gonna let that slide.
even I will say that the timing was a
I'm
little
gonna let
off.
that slide. The
Okay.
timing was fucked.
It was totally fucked. I will admit that. So, all right, I'm gonna roll between tarot. Tarot would like to be acknowledged.
It's a good story.
Okay.
Short
Oh,
story. Met a new friend recently. Brought up decoded, and it's a palindrome. Perfect. I like it. That's perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
okay.
I love it. Okay.
Okay. I had to re-roll a few times here because I was getting similar numbers. Oh, interesting. It is the 6 of Cups. So this is, so what is it? Pleasure. So in the thought deck, this is pleasure. And so, it's so obvious, but it's like stop and smell the roses sort of thing, And so I think there was a challenge in the 5th card, as most 5th cards represent some sort of hurdle or struggle or what have you. And this is overcoming that and being allowed, being given the space to be able to smell the roses and to be able to appreciate the simple things, kind of like what I was saying earlier, So the cups are filled with flowers, and it looks like there's a brother and sister just kind of appreciating this experience together, this moment together. And so appreciating the small moments would be kind of like my advice here, and acknowledging that it's the small things that really matter, at the end of the day. And really too, when you just appreciate a moment, you are blessing that moment. When you appreciate your food, you're blessing that food. When you're appreciating all of these different things in life, as simple as they are, I really think that what you're essentially doing is you're blessing those things. And there's just so many studies that have been done about blessing things actually having a more beneficial sort of reaction, when you actually consume those things or whatever. So it's like if you bless a cup of tea and bless your food, as an example, it's like those things actually work in your favor more. It's when you're just kind of cruising by and you're not really, taking it in or not really appreciating what you do have or whatever. Then I think that you're almost kind of like missing out on a key opportunity, just to kind of treat yourself well, that way. And so that's kind of what I'm sensing here, is just that those little moments, those little things, like definitely appreciate them and kind of like even slow down and commune with nature, commune with people around you that you love and care for.
That was beautiful.
Nice.
So I pulled for Cody, the King of Swords, which is kind of funny because we were just talking about in the chat, just talking about his love of decoding things. Haha, decoding. Clever. Anyway, what I love about the King of Swords is he's highly contemplative. He's extremely clever, right? He's very much actually almost completely just in his head. This is one of the court cards wearing shoes. Yeah. So he's a little bit less grounded, right? He is still sitting on his throne, which is wood, and it's on the hill, but he's very high up. There is water in this picture, but he's very far away from it. So the King of Swords is great if you need to be more analytical, and if you need to be decisive and precise with your words, and all of those very like Aquarian and air themes. It's fucking great. It's wonderful. Just make sure that you're not, oh, that's good. I mean, the card's not necessarily like you're always wearing shoes and you need to take your shoes off. It's a detail I like to pick out. But anyway, so like, yeah, just make sure that you are still connecting to your emotions, and make sure that you are still connecting to Mother Earth and the practical, feeling-based, inspirational side of life, not just solely staying up in your head and decoding things all of the time. But the King of Swords is fantastic. So,
because decoding too, there's an analytical thing going on there, you know, but there's
Yeah.
also a unifying thing kind of going on there. So I like the fact that you said
Totally.
that. And then also, I just want to add to appreciate the beauty around you, you know, and maybe surround yourself with beauty. It's nice to have a vase of flowers in your place every once in a while. I bless my. Oh, can I read that? Actually,
Oh, sorry.
no worries.
Come back.
Bless my meals, but just choose and bless my. Nice, dude. Bless your snacks, man. Yeah, exactly right, for sure.
Sacred
awesome.
snacks.
Sacred snacks, dude. Oh my god, that's gonna be at Whole Foods next month. Hey,
Sacred snacks.
yeah. Are you wearing anything on your feet right now, Kaylee?
No, my feet are bare.
Cool. Same.
Yeah, I've actually got a ball that I've been rolling around on the bottom of one of my soles.
Same. I have a big a medicine ball. It's not small, but that's kind of what I use just to like rest my foot on and stuff. So here we are.
That's funny. Cool. I think that was everybody. Is there any last calls? Anybody else? Gabe, you're on timeout. But yeah, just one more kind of thing to kind of like wrap up just what you were saying. Like, I love this card, and look at the like beautiful view behind him. But he's not paying attention to the view. Not at all. He's not facing the view at all. You know? So, yeah.
True.
There's so many details on that card.
Definitely reminds me of the Thinker statue, the Rodin statue.
Right?
Nice.
And was it always like this? Or was it like this? Open or closed?
I think the Mandela effect is if he's like this, or if he's like this actually on his head. Am I mistaken? That sounds kind of weird.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be like
his
head versus his chin or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, cool. Well, this was fun.
Cool. I think that was everybody. Dude, thank you so much. Whoa, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Holy shit. Dude, we killed it.
Sweet. It did not feel
awesome.
like that long, by the way, for me personally.
No, it didn't.
I mean, I'm kind of sleepy right now, but yeah, it felt maybe like a couple of hours.
We did good. And I think because we're used to people like the Weavers, it's like, yeah, they go for 5 hours. We could do 3.
For sure. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate you and all of your astrology stuff and whatever. It's like I'm like piecing it together, and it's still wizardry and things that I don't really completely understand. But I feel like towards like the middle or the end of our little sesh here, I was starting to really get into like the flow of how to do this and whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was fun.
Yeah, dude. I think bringing you on for wrapping up Cancer season was like perfect. Like, couldn't think of anybody better. And also, just want to say for people, if you don't know that Mario is offering private tarot readings, he is. So, was this your first time doing tarot readings like in a public sphere?
Yes. So you totally broke me outside of my box. Yeah, I know. Because
I'm so proud of you.
You asked me to do it a little while ago, and I said, okay, cool, maybe, at some point. And then you asked me again, and I was kind of like hesitant and reluctant. And I decided just to kind of go for it because my reading style in person is it's just different. There's a lot more back and forth sort of thing, and we're getting into like someone's personal stuff and whatever. So it was a bit different, but I'm better for it. So regardless of how this turned out or whatever, I'm grateful for the opportunity. And thank you for asking. So yes, this was the first time.
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the astrology is different one-on-one too, right? Like there's
totally, I bet
checking in way more about like, hey, does this sound right, or what theme is coming up here, instead of listing all of them. So right, so yeah, it is weird, but great to like exercise the muscles, right? So hell yeah. And you did great. You couldn't tell that you've like never done this publicly before.
Oh really? I mean, yeah, thank you. I really feel like just being completely transparent and stuff is one of the things I'm really good at. Oh yeah, totally. Thank you. So one of the things I'm really good at, and we could wrap it up here soon too. We don't have to go on and on about this stuff. But I feel like I have a lot of like esoteric information, and that is like my thing. People who watch my channel know that that's just the deal. That's how I do my research. That's my perspective or whatever. But bridging that gap to practical advice, practical sound advice, that is what I'm working on right now. This is like the thing that I'm trying to get much better at. And so when people have practical sound advice, like I think you have that, I think Rachel has that, I think Chance definitely has that too. It's like this extra sort of like muscle that I'm trying to grow right now, of being like, how do you bridge all of this esoteric shit and all of this random information and actually like help somebody, you know, and give them advice that's actually going to like take them to that next level or have them overcome that thing or whatever. Yeah, totally. So anyway,
Totally.
just thought I would throw that out there. As like that's what I'm currently working on.
Well, you're doing
so this
great.
was helpful in that regard.
Love it. Yeah,
Right,
100%.
right.
Woo! We did it. Excellent. Okay. Wow. Shout out to everybody that's still here.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's amazing. There's still 12 people in the chat. Like, wow, what the fuck? I mean, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for everybody that came out. I'm grateful for everybody that'll watch this later. And absolutely. Yep. This is a good time. So yeah, wonderful. Have a good week, you guys. And yeah, you got this. You got this. Just stand up for your damn selves, okay? That's all.
All right, guys. Take care.
Yep.
Thanks for hanging.
Okay.
Thank you for being such a great host.
Night.